3 Falcon Zig ZE 310R passenger car tyres and get the 4th tyre absolutely free. Experience top-notch performance with exceptional grip on both wet and dry surfaces. Steer your way to citydiscounttires.com.au for even more great deals. City Discount Tyres. We're driven by value.
City Discount Tires.
The 2024 Host Plus SANFL League Grand Final is this Sunday at Adelaide Oval. Catch all the action when Norwood battle Glenelg from 2:30pm to see who will be crowned Premiers of 2024. And we're celebrating the Festival of Footy. See Adelaide Oval covered with activities for everyone, with kids zones, bars and play on at the free after party in the McGarry Room. Get your tickets now from Ticketek, plus free entry for under 18s. The Host Plus SANFL League Grand Final. Nothing beats it.
Nothing beats the SANFL.
Hi, Bronte Manuel from Tupperware. Now more than ever, you need an agent who's not just out for a quick sale. You need someone who can stand their ground to ensure you're maximising your home's potential. There's a good reason Tupperware is defying market trends and continuing to deliver premium outcomes for its clients. With a history spanning almost 40 years and a team of unrivaled experience, Tupperware knows what it takes to maximise your results in any selling conditions. Visit toop.com.au to find out more.
If the bank's declined your business loan, no worries. Universal Finance make business loans easy. No financials required. Unsecured business loans and business overdrafts. Universal Finance can help your business now. For lightning fast settlement, sometimes in just a matter of hours. See Universal Finance in Kent Town today. Or search Universal Finance right now. This is general advice only, and you should consider the terms and conditions before determining whether this advice is suitable for your situation.
Duttons have been easy to do business with for 75 years. Clearly, people enjoy the experience. Just one quick trip up to the hills or onto Murray Bridge and you have 12 vehicle brands to choose from. Everything from Ford, GWM and Haval, to Hyundai, Isuzu Ute and LDV, to Mazda, Mitsubishi and Nissan, to Ram, Subaru and Volkswagen. That's a whole lot of choice, and much less running around. Dutton's Mount Barker and Murray Bridge. Duttons.com.au. LDV 90.
Duttons. Easy to do business with.
Setting the agenda for South Australia. This is 5AA. Always Adelaide.
Head to your Hyundai dealer for run-out offers across MY24 range. Petrol and diesel vehicles. T's and C's apply.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings. 5AA Breakfast.
9 minutes after 6, good morning to you. Welcome to Friday on 5AA Breakfast. If you're a Port fan that has been unable to sleep, we'll stop fighting it and tune in because we're going to be talking a lot about the prelim final this morning, and we're giving away clue number 5 in our AFL Grand Final ticket competition a little bit later today. The build-up is going to be massive on 5AA Breakfast this morning. Jade is at the Adelaide Airport, about to fly out to Sydney. Doubtless there'll be a sack of Port fans there. We'll be chatting with one of the greats to have ever called footy and sport, frankly, in this country, Bruce McAvaney. He'll be on the program. He's returning to host Channel 7's finals coverage. You know it's important when Bruce is involved. We'll flash back in time with Michael Smith. Feedback Friday. Timmy G will have the last word on the clash tonight. Ryan Fitzgerald will get his tips as well. Massive morning ahead today. David Penberthy, good morning to you.
Good morning, listeners. Good morning, Will. I hope you are dealing with the nerves, Port fans. Crows people probably sort of feeling a minor sense of dread. I mean, it's not like you death ride your opposition. Well, it is a little bit, isn't it? It's more just...
That's what a rivalry is.
Oh, it is. It is.
I know everyone tiptoes around this.
Yeah, well, I've got plenty of Port fans who were... They were polite to me after 2017, but privately they were... Yeah, cock-a-hoop.
Yeah.
Sam Dado just said something quite unpleasant in my ear about how happy he was about the result in 2017.
But fair enough, it's a rivalry. But sometimes some people see that I want it both ways, where it's like it's the AFL's best rivalry, but also can't we all just get along?
Yeah, exactly.
No, you can't have both those things.
And that doesn't mean we have to end up like a Juventus home game or a Boca Juniors v Rio Plate game in Argentina where they need to put up razor wire.
No one's suggesting anyone needs to be killed.
Yeah, no one needs to be crushed.
No.
Showered with water cannon. Just a bit of lip and banter. That's what it's all about. No $20,000 fines for impersonating aeroplanes, thank you. But that's last week's story. Tonight it is all about Port's now familiar spot in the prelim.
You know what Americans do watch way better than us in sport, and it just blows my mind this hasn't happened there. Why isn't there 15,000 Port fans wearing "You're Not Flying, Mate" T-shirts with Ken Hinkley on the front of it?
Yeah, I know.
If it was the US, that would have been commercialised in 19 seconds after the game.
Yeah,
you'd be everyone would be walking around with one of him with the arms extended.
I know, it's funny, isn't it?
Like, we're not into it as much here.
I reckon all the merchandise, but all that sort of grassroots stuff that crops up in America, it's like, so mainly just because I love the city, but my teenage son's developed forensic knowledge of this club. But the New Orleans Saints, their catch cry is "Who dat?" You familiar with that?
Yes.
Who dat?
Who dat?
Now, what's the origin of that?
No idea.
It's on all their gear. You get "Who dat" T-shirts.
Yep. Don't know.
It's got some sort of jazz origin, being the capital of birthplace of jazz. Who dat? It's like a jazz call-out thing.
But you're right, it's all grassroots stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's all started by fan. It's not officially sanctioned. Well, I think that stuff actually is, but generally speaking, it's
it became officially.
It becomes officially sanctioned because it's so everywhere.
Yeah.
The meat tray this morning might be the one bit we're not really, was one of the bits where we're not talking footy. We're going to be talking about the 1960s for the meat tray this morning. Meat tray, thanks to my local butcher. Big thanks to Liam, Joanna and the team. My local butcher, Chanella's 62 Prospect Road at Prospect. Bit of sad news for fans of Tupperware, the brand. That was a global phenomenon. Now saddled with some $600-700 million worth of debt and looking for someone to bail it out. The Tupperware party is officially over. Became big, came to Australia in the 60s. So we're asking you this morning, the best thing to come out of the decade, the 60s.
Can you nominate yourself?
Well, I think you can.
I just sneak in 1969.
Were you going to make the case?
No.
Are you better than Tupperware?
No, I'm not better than Tupperware. I'm not even close to being the best thing to come out of the 60s. I was wondering, a lot of our listeners will have been born in the 60s. Plenty of them will have lived through the 60s and have real-time memory of it. But it's one of those decades that everyone's got an opinion about the 60s. Music, fashion, politics. Like, there was a hell of a lot of stuff going on. But Tupperware, I can't believe that such a natty invention, such a thing of great utility, has ended up in such financial strife. But I suppose
it's a good run, 60 years of prominence. It started before that, but in Australia it's over 60 years. It's tough to invent something today that people will still be using in 2084.
Yeah,
if you think about it that way.
Yeah,
that's a pretty good invention.
Yeah, no, it is. But I would have thought, we just banned non-reusable plastics here.
Yeah, it should be making a resurgence, shouldn't it?
Tupperware should be the next big thing right now.
Best thing to come out of the 60s, 8223 You can text us on the Dutton's text line as well, 0448 08 13 95. I'll tell you what, a lot of the modern conveniences today, or inconveniences some might say, had their origins in the 60s. The first barcode scanner is from the 60s. The first ATM is from the 60s.
Really? That far back?
Yep. The first computer language, BASIC.
BASIC, yeah.
Was invented in the 60s. The first handheld calculator from the 60s.
Wow. I can remember we had to learn BASIC at schools.
Really?
Yeah. Primary school.
I like
sorry, year 9, I think.
Yeah, okay.
What there was BASIC. There were 3 computer languages at the time. Dad learnt one, and he learnt what was regarded as the hard one. He used to have his computer at home doing all his laboratory results from the biochemistry department.
I love how nothing is really new, that we just have new debates. Like, remember when everyone was there was this debate about should people be learning coding? It was like, you got to stick to the basics. Well, in the 60s, your old man was learning, well, before that, was learning computer languages at school.
Yeah, yeah.
It's funny to think. I do like, too, the advancement of the handheld calculator, because this was even a refrain when I was at school. Relying on calculators to do your computational work for you. You ever have a teacher that say, you're not always going to have a calculator in your pocket? Teachers got that one wrong.
Hey, Tess, well, you have always got a calculator.
That's right.
Right. What was it? Texas Instruments. Does that company even exist anymore? They used to make calculators. I had a Texas Instruments calculator. That was one of those epiphanies. I had no idea what any of the buttons did and realised I should stop studying maths. Or rather, I should have started studying maths. Tessa and Baraka, this is 2 excellent philosophical questions in this one great text. If Tupperware had ironically stored its business model in a Tupperware container, it might not have expired. P.S. My German host mother called this in the 90s. She pointed out that their products were too well made and you only need to buy them once.
Oh.
I reckon that is true.
That's a good point.
I've got one thing in the kitchen that I love that belonged to my mum, and I reckon she might have got it off her mum. It's a lettuce, a green, translucent green lettuce crisper with a circular spike on the bottom that holds the lettuce in place and keeps the lettuce from sitting on the surface of the container. And it's a work of art.
And it's never going to break.
It must be 50 years old.
That's not that's one of the flaws of the business model, unfortunately.
You know the Tupperware people needed? Steve Jobs.
Yeah, that's right. Then the new Tupperware that comes out every 12 months.
Yeah.
It's slightly better.
Where the connection for the Tupperware is slightly different.
Yeah.
Or after 3 years, for no apparent reason, the Tupperware just starts overheating.
Stops working.
Turning itself off.
Trevor and Seaford, what's the best thing to come out of the 60s?
Sturt Football Club. 4 premierships.
Yeah, well, they've been around for a while, but that was their golden era.
Yeah, the memories perhaps of the Sturt's most prolific winning run, 60s.
Yeah, let's not live vicariously through the past.
I think it's the whole point of the meat tray this morning. You can allow yourself to live through the past this morning.
The carbine lunch was good yesterday. Timmy G did a great job. But yeah, Sturt, the absence of Sturt, hard to wrap your head around.
Yeah, you look
the year they had.
You look wounded at the introduction of Sturt into this conversation. Let's take a break so you can recover. We're going to get some news headlines next.
Hey guys, did you know that at Austrac Campers, for as little as $18,990, we can get you out there and everywhere. So come on guys, stop dreaming and start planning.
Austrac Campus.
Join Gliderol in celebrating the Colorbond Steal the Show promotion. By purchasing a roller door or sectional door made from Colorbond steel from Gliderol, now or within the last 12 months, you could win $100,000. Visit gliderol.com.au today for a free measure and quote. Retail customers only, T's and C's apply. See colorbond.com/steal the show, 18 plus only. Strict purchase and eligibility criteria apply. Ends 30/11/24.
Whether you're in the market for a small, middle, large Toyota SUV, your journey starts at the new Jarvis Toyota, Brighton Road, Somerton Park. Walk through their brand new state-of-the-art undercover showroom for new and demo vehicles in stock across the range. Yaris Cross, Corolla Cross, RAV4, Kluger and Land Cruiser. Your Toyota SUV journey starts at the new Jarvis Toyota, Brighton Road, Somerton Park. Proudly celebrating 23 years of great deals.
Hey mate, I need a couple of 2x4s and 4x6s moved down over here.
Mate, why are you yelling?
Sorry mate, I'm just used to it.
There's no need to yell. In fact, there's no need to do much at all thanks to the all-new electric excavator by Volvo. With no noise and no emissions, there's really no worries. Inquire today through Warren Mining and
enjoy the sound of silence!
Salvo's Home Care South Australia provides holistic, personalised care to help older Australians live independently in their own homes. They can help with domestic assistance, nursing and personal care, transport and shopping assistance, social support and more. No entry fee, no exit fee, no basic daily care fee, just genuine care. Call 1300 111 227 to learn how Salvo's Home Care can assist you or your loved ones today.
Give your mouth a little harmony with Henry Bloom's probiotic mouthwash. Formulated with Dentalac, a probiotic strain that harmonises the delicate pH of your mouth and promotes beneficial bacteria. Available at all major pharmacies.
Always read the label and follow directions for use.
Ever had the feeling you're being watched online? Scammers are always looking for new ways to con you. They're criminals and they're clever. But Australian banks have joined forces in the war against them. Intelligence sharing between banks will identify new types of scams faster. A new payment system to ensure you pay the right person is being rolled out. Unique identity checks will defend against identity theft. And there'll be more double checks when you're paying someone new. Australian banks are working to protect you.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube. Head to your Hyundai dealer for run-out offers across MY24 range. Petrol and diesel vehicles. T's and C's apply.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
21 after 6, cars, music, people themselves. Some of the nominations coming through on the Dutton's text line. Best thing to come out of the 60s as we celebrate Tupperware, which is actually financially going through a hard time, but it is an invention that stood the test of time, came to Australia in the 60s. We'll get to some of those Meat Tray Friday entries in a moment. That Meat Tray, thanks to the great people at Chanella's. But first, let's jump into the news headlines on this Friday, the 20th of September. Israel has launched air raids over Lebanon, just as Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah began a televised announcement condemning this week's hardware attacks. Israeli fighter jets were heard breaking the sound barrier over the capital Beirut. There's some pretty spectacular vision of BBC and Sky UK journos doing live crosses, and a sonic boom ominously cracks overhead. Nasrallah says the device explosions, which killed at least 37, crossed all limits, rules and red lines.
Imagine being a journo there. I'd much rather cover, major traffic build-up at Castle Plaza. Thank you.
It takes a certain type of person, doesn't it, to want to go there and be part of it.
Yeah.
But you're right. I'm not one of those people.
I've met a few of those people over the years, and they actually feel completely different to me. It's like they actually should be regarded as a different profession. It's weird.
Australia's population has surpassed 27 million. The data comes in the component of the year to March, fuelled by an increase in migrant workers and students. Western Australia saw the fastest growth at 3.1%. New South Wales remains the country's most populous state, with nearly 8.5 million people. South Australia now has 1.87 million people. Bureau of Statistics data shows 510,000 people moved to Australia from overseas in the year to March. So 510,000 people moving here in 3 months. It's a big city. The federal government has introduced a number of measures to reduce migration rates and says they'll have an impact on future population readings, but opposition leader Peter Dutton says Labor's approach simply isn't working.
It's just not heading down. Why does the government say this? They keep projecting that the numbers will come off. They don't. They keep increasing every quarter. And there are 924,000 people who have come in since this government was elected. They promised that there would be housing for people who are coming in. You can't massively increase the migration program and then not increase housing.
Federal government payments are being indexed in line with inflation today, which is good news for people, about 5 million Australians actually. People that receive the age pension, the disability pension and job seeker will see their payments increased. Labor is also rolling out an increase to Commonwealth rent assistance as part of its cost of living support. 2 men have been extradited from South Australia over a firearms incident in the Melbourne suburb of Altona North. The pair were arrested in Victor Harbour on Tuesday. The pair from Melbourne are facing charges, including discharging a firearm at a vehicle and being prohibited people with firearms.
How'd they end up in Victor Harbour? What are they doing here? Just
hiding out.
Came in for a bit of a
Sounds
holiday.
like potentially. Yeah, well, it is a nice place to go.
Yeah, it's true.
Kylie Minogue has announced her biggest world tour since 2010. She's heading to Perth first. Then, good on you, Kylie, coming to Adelaide, February 18 at the Entertainment Centre.
Kylie, we salute you. Terrific news.
Yep.
Given Killers and the Tay-Tay, the number of artists have turned up. Dua Lipa not coming to Adelaide.
Yep. Kylie, we salute you. Look at that, a rare 5AA spin for Kylie Minogue because she's coming to
Never
Adelaide.
heard this song. What's her best song? I reckon On a Night Like This is a great song.
Yeah.
Spinning Around's pretty good.
Padum Padum, this is the most recent sort of big hit single that she had.
Papa Dum, Papa Dum.
Yeah, Papa Dum, Papa Dum. It's definitely what it's called.
That's the Wiggles song.
Technology is being rolled out to help communities stay better connected during natural disasters. This is interesting. $5 million being spent ahead of the bushfire season to provide backup connectivity for residents and emergency responders. The technology will serve as a backup resource when Wi-Fi and telephone networks go down. So there is an extra layer of communication backup there. The weather for today in Adelaide is going to be fairly sort of bleak. 17 the expected top, 1 to 6 mils of rain. It's going to be part of a pretty reasonable wet period for us over the next few days. Right now 11.9 degrees, so not a cool start, but it's not getting much warmer. 17 tomorrow, up to 4 mils of rain. Sunday 19 and up to 3 mils. And perhaps a little drizzle around on Monday and 20, then up to 8 mils on Tuesday and 21, just 16 on Wednesday and 2 mils. Thursday 17 and a mil of rain. So sort of wet and a bit gloomy in this latter part of September.
Amount of entries to Meet Tray Friday. We'll get to them the other side of 6:30 because we've got our good friend Tommy Wren here.
Yes, we
on
should be
Prelim
talking
final
footy.
day.
The 2024 Mitsubishi Triton comes with 10 years warranty plus 3 years free servicing only at Agostino Mitsubishi. Morning to you, Rennie.
Morning, Will. Morning, David. Yes, we will talk footy because there is the biggest game of the year for Port Adelaide and arguably in Ken Hinckley's tenure coming up. But just a bit of breaking news for those waking up this morning, wondering, was there a cricket game overnight? Yes, there was, and this happened, which was outstanding.
His head is still on 99. Well, that's a gift on the offside. The simplest of way to go through to three figures. His sixth in ODI cricket, his second against England. There's his celebration. He can celebrate however he wants. That's a special knock.
That wasn't the English commentary up and about with Travis Head making a ton.
Oh, yeah.
So they're loving it.
They chased down three. The thing is, when he makes hundreds, they just win. They were chasing 316. He made 154 off 129.
Wow.
24s, 5 6s. He brained him. And I knew he'd make a big score because every match, and you shouldn't do this, gamble responsibly, I back him for most runs for Australia, and I forgot last night. So what happened?
Of course.
Yeah, comfortably. I was pretty happy when I saw that. Boys, huge game tonight. Massive game tonight. As expected, 2 changes. Dixon, Burton come in. Lorenz comes out. That's fair enough. I think he was the sub last week. And then, of course, Todd Marshall out concussed. I guess the issue is, who's going to be the sub? Is it going to be Ryan Burton? So will he just replace him? Or perhaps Quinton Narkle? Maybe Francis Evans. I think it's out of those 3 who've been named on the bench. Probably, I think Francis Evans, I think, is the logical choice.
Because you'd think typically with Kane Farrell and Dan Houston out of the side, Ryan Burton's the natural replacement, but they really found something with Jace Burgoyne playing across half-back last week. So
yes, and Burne-Jones has to play forward, I think.
Yes.
But yes, you're right. So do they just stick with that and then just literally go 1 for 1? And then Burton can play forward or back depending on what's going on in the game. I don't know. So, we'll find out in 12 hours' time. Do you like your omens, boys? Do you believe? Are you superstitious?
No, I don't believe in anything.
Yeah.
You're a nihilist.
Well, I need you to play along for the purposes of the theatre.
Yeah. Big omen guy.
Yeah, oh, good. Well, in 2004, Port made its first grand final. Richmond finished bottom. In 2007, Port made its second grand final. Richmond finished bottom. Who finished bottom this season?
Richmond.
So
grand final time.
Other stars.
Book your tickets.
Other stars aligning.
Yeah.
So there's a link.
So there's
a link there somehow.
The only 2 sides that Port has played grand finals against, they'll be playing against one of them again.
They're not going to get a new grand final opponent.
It's either Geelong or Brisbane. Very different outcomes, of course.
Has Port ever won a grand final and a wooden spoon in the same year? Because this is their chance.
No.
Well, it could happen.
That's quite an achievement.
Yeah.
Your life's on the line, Rennie. What do you think happens tonight?
You'd have to go Sydney.
Would you?
Yeah. Only just. I wouldn't be confident. I'm going to live a great and fulfilling life. And look, I hope for the purposes of this segment, it's finished. They can win if they bring that same intensity. The big question is, how much petrol have they used after last week? Yeah. Have they got enough in the tank to be able to find with young bodies? I mean, they had a young side out there last week. I think it was younger than Hawthorn. And Dixon being out obviously helped that. But, for guys like Horn Francis, Butters, Rosie, who were clearly all sore, to back up again and go against a tough, hardened, brilliantly coached side, difficult, but they can. If they bring that same level of intensity and say, you just have to push through and go again, yes, absolutely. I believe, but it will not be easy. I can't see a Port blowout. I can see a Sydney blowout. So,
well, the extra week. If it gets away from you early, it's pretty tough.
Spot on. And if it gets away early, like 5 goals to 1 early on, it's hard to see
That's
the road
the danger,
back.
Isn't it?
Yep. They've just got to... I think they're trying to choke games up. You could see last week they were playing a bit more possession, a bit wider. If they're allowed to do that and play it on their terms, then, that they're a chance. But if Sydney get to play it on their terms, fast, slingshot, good luck.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Good on you, Rennie.
Good on you, boys.
Cheers, Tom.
This is 5AA News, always Adelaide. Showers and 17 today with the 6:30 news. I'm Graham Goodings.
Chipped windscreen? RAA approved repairer Complete Windscreens repairs it from just $99. Find the big red koala.
The leader of terrorist group Hezbollah is condemning 2 consecutive days of deadly hardware explosions in the country, describing it as a massacre. Hassan Nasrallah has vowed to keep fighting until the war in Gaza is over.
The Israeli army targeted thousands of pagers that were simultaneously detonated. By doing so, the enemy has crossed a red line. Some of the devices exploded in hospitals, pharmacies, markets.
Millions of Australians will begin receiving extra cash from today as government support payments are indexed in line with inflation. Job Seeker, the age pension and disability pension are among the payments being increased. Commonwealth rent assistance is also increasing as part of Labor's cost of living support. Rex Patrick will run for a South Australian Senate seat at the next federal election. Mel Usher reports.
Rex Patrick will run as a Senate candidate under the Jackie Lambie Network banner in the upcoming federal election. Ms Lambie says as former political colleagues, they share the same values, especially when it comes to transparency and accountability in government. Mr Patrick served as a senator for South Australia from 2017 to 2022. Senator Lambie says he's a real alternative to the 2 major parties. The pair will hold a press conference in Adelaide later this morning.
Australia's population has passed 27 million, fuelled by an increase in migrant workers and students. South Australia is one of the slower growing states at 1.5%. WA saw the fastest growth at 3.1%. South Australia's population, 1,874,000. Researchers say it's almost impossible to track whether the cash from green energy bills is actually helping the planet. Gabriel Hodson has more.
Many Australians are happy paying higher prices for power, vehicles or air travel, believing the extra money will go towards a good green cause. But an ANU study of 182 forest projects has found there's limited evidence of any regeneration, with negligible growth in 80% of cases. News Corp is reporting that in 2 AGL-backed projects in outback New South Wales, there's actually been reduced tree cover. The study, published in the journal Nature, also found tracking the progress of overseas-based regeneration was almost impossible.
Cassie Sainsbury has written a book. The South Australian was busted with drugs in her luggage in Colombia in 2017 and served 3 years behind bars. Now she's going to detail her years in jail and her journey back in a book called Cocaine Cassie. The 28-year-old returned to SA 2 years ago with her new wife, launching an online fitness program. Cocaine Cassie will be released on October 15. After 5 years, Kylie Minogue is coming home to perform her new arena shows. She'll play at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre on February 18, as well as shows in Perth, Sydney, Brisbane and Melbourne. The tour coincides with the release of Kylie's new album, Tension 2. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
The 2024 Mitsubishi Triton comes with 10 years warranty, plus 3 years free servicing, only at Agostino Mitsubishi.
Tom Wren, you a Kylie fan?
I do like Kylie. She was fantastic in some movies as well. I think Moulin Rouge, she was the fairy in that, and a few others, but love her. Great music. Amazing.
You'll be lining up for tickets.
I'll be definitely there with bells on, Graham. Can't wait. And speaking of going to watch things, I love watching this man, South Aussie Travis Head. He's recorded his 6th one-day international century. That was against England overnight to help his side to a comfortable 7-wicket win against the old enemy at Trent Bridge.
Travis Head is still on 99. Oh, that's a gift on the offside. The simplest of way to go through to 3 figures. His 6th in ODI cricket, his 2nd against England. There's his celebration. He can celebrate however he wants. That's a special knock.
He doesn't sound overly happy about it, though. Audio there thanks to Fox. The Aussies chasing the 316 required with a massive 6 overs to spare. Meantime, Phoebe Litchfield has blasted her highest 2020 score ever. That was an unbeaten 64 to help steer the Aussies to a 5-wicket win against New Zealand in Mackay. Let's get to football. Port Adelaide has brought in Charlie Dixon and Ryan Burton for tonight's prelim final against Sydney at the SCG. The Swans have brought in Robbie Fox for Callum Mills, who's out with a hamstring injury. You can, of course, hear all the action live right here on 5AA. Well, the Wallabies will have a new halves pairing for Saturday's Bledisloe Cup opener against the All Blacks. Nick White and Noah Lolesio will come into the side at the expense of Jake Gordon and Ben Donaldson.
I play for a little bloke, pretty abrasive, and I'll continue to do that on Saturday. And I've linked up with Noah pretty well in the last few years as well. So we've got a bit of a combination together.
Coach Joe Schmidt has made 9 changes all up. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Thanks, Tom. Now the 5AA forecast.
See any issue firsthand with AutoCam. Real-time video, direct to you from your Automaster's technician.
17 in showers today. Tomorrow showers 17. Sunday a shower to 20. Or 19 in fact. Monday is the 20, partly cloudy. Currently it's 12. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Head to your Hyundai dealer for run-out offers across MY24 range. Petrol and diesel vehicles. T's and C's apply.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
24 minutes to 7. Yesterday at about 8:20, we checked in with Clinton, who's doing the road trip driving from Adelaide to Sydney with his daughter to go see the prelim final tonight, where he just texted us out front of the restaurant in Griffith that you recommended.
La Scala.
So we thought we'll give him a buzz and see how he got on. Clinton, good morning to you.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
We're good, Clinton. Did you have a good feed, mate?
Oh, it was amazing. Definitely a great recommendation.
Oh,
Some
that's
of the
good.
best food I've had is incredible.
It's a really good restaurant, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just really inviting, and it's great. Yeah.
It's like an old-fashioned, family-run Italian sort of bistro. Nothing fancy or pretentious. And it's not crazily expensive, is it?
No, it's not too bad, especially with everything going up these days. It's reasonable, that's for sure. It definitely reminded me of when we were in Italy. It's certainly authentic, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm really glad you went there, mate, because it's just such a lovely little place. You walk in down those stairs and you're like, oh, here we are. Like putting on an old pair of slippers going there.
So, Clinton, have you run into much of many of the Teal Army out on the road?
Oh, I haven't seen one, unfortunately.
Really?
So hopefully we see a few more on the road, but, we haven't stopped anywhere, really. We've just pulled up this morning for breakfast in a little town on the side of the road. I don't even know what it's called. We just made ourselves a nice hot drink, and we're about to hit the road, but might have to hang the scarf out, I reckon, today.
Yeah.
You got a nice drive ahead of you, though, mate, because the road from Griffith through to near Canberra is called Burley Griffin Way, and you go through Harden, Temora. There's a town that's filled with jacarandas. It's a beautiful drive, and it's a good road too.
No, beautiful. Looking forward to it.
You're going to have a good time, mate. Hey, Clinton even sent us a photo too, of him and his daughter outside the restaurant. How good's that?
Clinton made the observation of the text too that whilst the food was a highlight, it comes second to what he sees tonight. Good on you, Clinton. Enjoy the rest of the trip with your daughter. It looks like you're having the time of your life.
I'm thrilled they did that.
Movies are better at Wallace Cinemas, SA's home of big screen magic and entertainment. Visit wallace.com.au. Movie reviewer extraordinaire Lucy Loken in the studio. Morning to you, Lucy.
Hello, Will. This is one of your top films, Uncle Buck.
It's yep.
She's got that look in her eye.
Yeah.
What's one word you would use to describe Uncle Buck? Or a couple of words.
Fantastic.
Interesting. I would say pleasant.
Yeah, pleasant.
Yeah, liked it.
Damned with faint praise, Luce.
Didn't blow my mind.
Hang on. We're working through the Lucy review here. We haven't got to I turned it off yet.
Yeah, okay.
So it's already hurdled Mad Max.
Yeah, and The Graduate. Yeah, pleasant. Look, I really enjoyed it. Didn't blow my mind, didn't blow my socks off, but John Candy was excellent. I think the slapstick, old-fashioned kind of sadist comedy, he did really well. I think he worked with Macaulay Culkin extremely well.
Yep.
I know Macaulay's a seasoned child actor, but I really enjoyed it. Predictable, obviously, where everyone's going to love the fun, crazy uncle who doesn't have a job and just bets on horse races to make his own living. But I enjoyed it.
It's good, silly fun.
Yeah, but am I going to watch it again in a hurry? No.
Okay.
Has it opened up a whole world of John Candy comedies to you? Because there's quite a few.
Yeah, we had a lot of texts about, is it Planes, Trains and Automobiles? And I had
Steve Martin.
Yes, someone else recommended that to me recently as well, so maybe that's on the list somewhere. But look, I'm going to give it, well, actually, the scene that I picked to play for you is the one where you're talking about with the coin on the...
with the principal.
The vice principal's desk. Look, I'm going to give it... I want to give it 3.75 stars.
Wow!
But that's not an official rating, so because I'm not going to watch it again, I'm going to give it 3.5.
3.5. All right.
Fair enough.
No,
anyway,
fair
yes.
enough.
So now I've shortened this scene. You'll notice it's where he enters the vice principal's office and he's all friendly and nervous and notices the big melanoma-looking mole on her face, and then he gets really angry. So I've chopped out the bit of the headmistress, but anyway, you'll hear it.
I'm Anita Horgarth.
Buck melanoma, Molly Russell's wart. Not her wart. Not her wart. I'm the wart. She's my tumor, my growth, my pimple. I'm Uncle Wart. Just old Buck Wart Russell. That's what they call me. Or melanoma head. They'll call me that. Melanoma head's coming. I'm sorry, Uncle. Maisie Russell's uncle. I'm her uncle. Her mother set up this conference with you.
I'm assistant principal here, as you've probably noticed from the indications on the door.
This door?
The outer door.
The outer door?
Yes.
Because there's nothing on this one.
That's just about enough of that.
But I know a good kid when I see one. Because they're all good kids. Until dried out, brain-dead skags like you drag them down and convince them they're no good. You so much as scowl at my niece or any other kid in this school and I hear about it, and I'm coming looking for you. Take this quarter. Go downtown and have a rat gnaw that thing off your face.
Yeah, it's one of the great scenes.
The bit right at the end where he kidnaps a bug and
The boyfriend of his
boyfriend, yes, of the 15-year-old niece, and then threatens him with an axe, and then also then hits golf balls at him.
Yeah.
That was my favourite.
That resonated?
Yeah.
Good stuff.
My dad
Let's-
certainly hit golf balls at my boyfriends in the
Yeah,
past.
he did threaten him with a power drill.
No, luckily. 3.5 for Uncle Buck.
Good on you, Lou.
1989.
Someone suggested Stripes up next, and I'm not quite sure that's the vehicle.
Stripes.
Sam Daddo's favourite Bill Murray film.
I was going to say, I think
That's
Sam
a
loves
fact, Jack.
stripes.
What is wrong with you, Sam?
Stripes is good. Stripes. Is really
I think Stripes would be a difficult watch now.
Yeah.
As in, it's not woke enough for 2024.
Oh, it's not even close to being.
No. There's just an era of 80s comedies that.
Like Caddyshack that I didn't like?
No. Caddyshack's
not
more
a sexual
sophisticated.
Great. Keen for stripes.
I'm thinking films more like Porky's.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
Not going to get you to watch Porky's, for
no,
example.
they're not. Haven't aged well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lewis.
Thank you.
Good on you, Luke.
That's good stuff. Okay, 3.5. We'll take that. I think the Uncle Buck fans will take that too. Let's head to the airport because Port fans are many of them about to embark on probably one of the most expensive flights they've ever been on in their life. Hayden Nelson for 7 News is covering it for Sunrise this morning. Hayden, good morning to you, mate. Is it just a sea of teal down there?
Oh, morning, Will. Yeah, it is definitely this morning. We've had those first couple of flights out. There's 15 flights today to Sydney, and I think after Friday night's result, the amount of people just booking in flights, even before they got tickets to the actual game, really forced the airline's hand to add a couple more because, yeah, I mean, if you're a business traveller heading off to Sydney this morning, I'd turn the AirPods a bit higher. There are some loud Port fans seated in with you who are not, they're basically ramped things up from about 5 a.m. this morning. Some of them have come in pretty strong this morning. So to head to Sydney, head to the SCG, coffees in hand. I can imagine a few other beverages later down somewhere at the SCG to really fill in the day. I mean, if you're going this early, what are you going to sort of do to pass the time before the
crikey.
game? It could be sort of a few sort of similar scenes to talking about Stripes maybe. After the game.
The SCG is one of the all-time great ovals for pubs because you've got Oxford Street, you've got Surrey Hills. Like, you're coming in from any direction. It's a target-rich environment pub-wise. There's about 500 places to pick from.
Yeah, and 3,000 Ford fans heading up as well. So we've got sort of people driving up. We spoke to a lovely mum and daughter, Alison Lee, who I think in the middle of their 24-hour journey. I asked them for an update this morning. I mean, we spoke to them yesterday, leaving the bus terminal on Franklin Street at 6 o'clock yesterday morning. So I think they should have arrived. If not, they're somewhere out in the country somewhere, making their way. So
can't be far
by
off.
any means necessary. I think the cavalry is definitely on its way. And yeah, this morning at the airport, the next sort of couple of flights are at 8:30, and you can expect those will just be packed because the morning's run sort of gone through, and then everyone else is going to be making their way up.
I like that warning for people to wear their headphones if they don't want to be inundated with loud singing Happy Port fans. That's great. Painted very interesting picture down at the airport there, Hayden. Thank you. Hayden Nelson reporting for Sunrise this morning on Channel 7.
Our usual plan of attack for the SCG was Cricketers Arms. It's a great pub in Surrey Hills. We'd go there beforehand. It was a big pub, so there's always plenty of room, big beer garden. So any Port fan at a loose end, giving us...
I like those that have gotten started this morning waiting for their plane at the Cooper's Bar there.
That's a very early start.
That is it's going to be a long day ahead.
I'll say. I think that's what's known as peaking too early.
We'll get to some more of you. We'll get to some Metro Fridays entries in just a moment. Best thing to come out of the 60s, inspired by, the sad story about Tupperware going broke, the company needing to be bailed out. We'll get some terrific texts that have come from the Dutton's text line shortly. Dutton's car dealerships in the Adelaide Hills and Murray Bridge. Dutton's, they're easy to do business with. But first, let's check traffic. Score a new deal every day with Macca's Footy Finals deals only on the My Macca's app.
Hey, good morning. Got a crash to look out for at the moment in Cherry Gardens. That's on Cherry Gardens Road near Orchard Road. Some roadworks, Crossroad near Marion Road, South Plimpton. The Salisbury Highway near the Wingfield Ramp, Wingfield. And South Road near Grand Junction Road in Angle Park. At OTR, put your next coffee on ice. Swells of delicious barista-made coffee poured into ice-cold milk. Feels like summer. OTR, making life easy. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Duttons have been easy to do business with for 75 years. Clearly, people enjoy the experience. Just one quick trip up to the hills or onto Murray Bridge and you have 12 vehicle brands to choose from. Everything from Ford, GWM and Haval, to Hyundai, Isuzu Ute and LDV, to Mazda, Mitsubishi and Nissan, to Ram, Subaru and Volkswagen. That's a whole lot of choice and much less running around. Dutton's, Mount Barker and Murray Bridge. Duttons.com.au. LDV 90.
Duttons. Easy to do business with.
City Discount Tires. Get saving this month at City Discount Tires. Grab 3 Falcon Zig ZE 310R passenger car tires and get the 4th tyre absolutely free. Experience top-notch performance with exceptional grip on both wet and dry surfaces. Steer your way to citydiscounttires.com.au for even more great deals. City Discount Tires. We're driven by value.
City Discount Tires. This is a winning season update from the Monopoly game at Macca's. Peel, scan and play today. That's how everyone's playing for a 1 in 4 chance to win. And who can blame them with $753 million in prizes up for grabs this year?
Now, that's an unbelievably huge prize pool, including 3 Isuzu MUX SUVs, TCL home entertainment packages, $10,000 worth of Amazon.com.au gift cards, or even free Maccas for a whole year.
Download the My Macca's app to play today. More updates to come. Ends October 22. For full terms, visit mcdonalds.com.au.
Have you heard about the sunrise swim banana or the morning stroll banana? The kicking goals banana, the rowing banana, the mowing banana, the frisbee throwing banana? Well, now you have. You see, whatever you think, there's a banana to make your body sing.
The 2024 Host Plus Samford League Grand Final is this Sunday at Adelaide Oval. Catch all the action when Norwood battle Glenelg from 2:30pm to see who will be crowned premiers of 2024. And we're celebrating the Festival of Footy. See Adelaide Oval covered with activities for everyone, with kids zones, bars and play on at the free after party in the McGarry Room. Get your tickets now from Ticketek, plus free entry for under 18s. The Host Plus Samford League Grand Final. Nothing beats it. Nothing beats the sample.
Head to your Hyundai dealer for run-out offers across MY24 range. Petrol and diesel vehicles. T's and C's apply.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings. 5AA Breakfast.
Ryan Fitzgerald in a moment. We'll get the Doy on a footy tipping's thoughts on the big prelim final tonight and then the next one tomorrow. Does he think Port can get up? You'll hear from Fitzy in just a few moments' time. First, though, let's head to the Weather Bureau. Get a sense of what the weather in Adelaide's doing this weekend. Chris Kent is on duty. Morning to you, Chris.
Good morning, how are you?
Yeah, let's start in Adelaide. What does the weather over the weekend look like?
Yeah, we've got some showers persisting throughout today and tomorrow in a sort of westerly airstream. So they're going to be sort of on and off throughout the day. Not expecting anything sort of real heavy, but probably more likely to or more heavier falls the heavier rainfall expected sort of around the Mount Lofty ranges, but tops of 17 degrees both today and Saturday, and for the grand final on Sunday heading, we'll probably have some showers about in the morning, but should be clearing up by the afternoon, which is good news. Tops of 19 degrees.
And what about, can you flick your screen over to Sydney and give us a sense of what the SCG is going to be like tonight?
Yeah, SCG should be pretty nice conditions there for footy. Clear conditions expected in Sydney tonight. Probably maximum temperature of around 20 degrees come kick-off time. And wind should be pretty light as well. So not expecting many sort of rough conditions from the weather through there.
Perfect night for finals footy. Should be a good spectacle. Thank you, Chris. Let's head to SAPOL. Senior Constable Scott James joins us. Scott, someone's been arrested for trying to break into cars at Golden Grove.
Yeah, so this was about 1:50 this morning. We were called to Unique Court after reports that two people were trying car door handles in the street. So when patrols arrived, they saw a woman running off from an open garage of a home, which was on Unicorn Street, and a screwdriver was left at the scene. Patrols quickly set up cordons around the area, and police dog Duke was called in to assist with the search. Police located a woman hiding in the bushes of Atlantis Drive, where she was arrested. So she's a 37-year-old woman from Salisbury Downs. We've charged her with unlawfully on premise and illegal interference of a motor vehicle.
And also, Scott, shed fire at Camden Park overnight.
Yeah, so this one was just after 4:20 this morning. We were called to Anzac Highway at Camden Park after reports that a shed at the rear of a unit complex was on fire. Police and MFS were quick to the scene and MFS extinguished the blaze. However, the shed was destroyed by fire. Thankfully, no one was injured and no damage was caused to any surrounding properties. So at this stage, we're treating the fire as suspicious, and crime scene investigators and detectives are expected to attend the scene to investigate the circumstances surrounding. And we're just asking anyone with information just to contact Crime Stoppers on 1800 333 000.
Good on you, Scott. Scott James there from SAPOL. Have a great weekend, mate. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Well, it's prelim final day, and on the occasion of the big game, we thought it would only be fair and just to bring a Swans legend onto the program. Ryan Fitzgerald, score a new deal every day with Macca's Footy Finals deals only on the Macca's app. Good morning to you.
Sweet goodness, Pembo. Lovely to be here, boys.
You sound like you're on a road trip now, Fitzy. We've been talking road trips with so many of the pair army heading east to Sydney, heading towards Pinaroo and Wagga and Hay and you name it. Have you got any fond road trip memories yourself?
Yeah, well, we drove over, probably illegal, highly illegal, but we drove over for the 97-98 Premiership Penbo in the back of Timmy Boston's ute, so we were asleep in the tray for 10 hours, which is unbelievable. But my number one story and memory of a road trip was Mum and Dad could never afford to go up and see our auntie and uncle up on the Gold Coast and go to Wet and Wild, so we used to drive the Ford Cortina up there, and I think we would have been in Forbes or Hay somewhere, and the Cortina overheated, and Dad went to the radiator cap, and while it was still very hot, decided to turn the radiator cap, which then exploded into his groin.
Oh, no.
Then Dad, his groin's blistered up, and he had to drive for the rest of the way the next 1.5 days with a couple of layers of skin on the seats of the Ford Cortina.
Oh, mate, unbelievable. Did the Cortina have air conditioning from memory?
No, not at all. You had to wind the windows down, and that was 3 days of in the car with Dad, and Dad had this unique skill of he could belt you in the front seat while he was driving the car whilst I was teasing my sister in the back seat. He could belt me with one hand, he could drive the car and belt me with his other hand. It was an unbelievable skill.
When we did our family road trips over to Sovereign Hill, panning for gold and things like that, Fitzy, we always used to come into the RAA here in Highmarsh Square beforehand and get those strip maps.
Yes.
And me and my sister would squabble about who was going to navigate, sitting in the back seat with the strip maps, going, we're almost in Menangatang, Dad.
It's amazing how we survived without Google Maps. Kids laugh at you now when they realise that you had to the worst part, I think the most difficult part was folding it back up again.
That's right. Yeah, by the end of the trip, you could use it as a sheet.
I mean, I could solve a Rubik's Cube, but I couldn't put that together.
Well, mate, big game tonight. Do you reckon the Power can do it? They got a good record against the Swans.
It's unbelievable. The only thing I'm worried about is that they're cooked, you know what I mean? And they had a great game last weekend, but you don't realise how beneficial a week off is for a team at this time of the year. Like, your body is screaming. So, Port Adelaide, have they played their grand final already? We will find out tonight, but I think Sydney are favourites for a reason.
And what about tomorrow night's game? Or tomorrow afternoon, mid-afternoon game?
I would really like... I love Chris Fagan. I think he's a great man, a great coach, and I'd love to see the guy have a bit of success. I honestly believe it's going to be a Sydney-Brisbane grand final, and I think there'll be an upset tomorrow in Melbourne where the Brisbane Lions knock off Geelong. The only thing I worry about that as well is that they're going to have some hard games leading up to the grand final they make it. Will they play their grand final tomorrow? I mean, last week, to come from 42 points down is just... 44 points down is crazy. So have they exerted all their hard work already as well? So, yeah, it's going to be a great round of footy.
Certainly is, mate. Yeah, I'm still still reeling from that Cortina story. 8-year-old man's made a full recovery.
How was the old Cortina? Geez, you could have a crash in that car and you wouldn't put any dents in it. They weighed an absolute ton.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, Fitzy, before you go, actually, Monday night's Brownlow night. You got a tip for us for the Brownlow?
Yeah, this is going to be interesting, Will. It's going to be really, really close. I think it's a 3-horse race against... I think Nick Dacus will be up there, definitely. But I think it'll definitely come down to Bontempelli and Cripps. And I think that Bontempelli, for some reason, I don't know how he hasn't won a Brownlow medal already. So, you know what? There's a level of umpires going, you know what? Bontempelli hasn't won one yet. And throughout the year, they look after him. So I think the Bont might just get over the line.
Don't mind that at all. Good on you, Fitzy.
Cheers, Fitzy.
Good on you, boys. Have a good weekend.
Score a new deal every day with Macca's Footy Finals deals only on the My Macca's app.
Every day, a passionate team works hard to maintain one of the world's most immaculate playing surfaces, Adelaide Oval. And now, they're available to you. If you're in charge of an oval, sporting field or community space, you can trust the renowned Adelaide Oval grounds team. Adelaide Oval Turf Solutions brings its expertise to any green space, and they'll work to your budget. From turf curation and construction to maintenance and repair, we'll give you the base for you to build on. Search Adelaide Oval Turf Solutions today.
Hey guys, did you know that at Austrac Campers you can start your next family adventure for less than $60,000? Come and check out the Madigan 15B.
Austrac Campers! When you buy Fluorio Milk Company milk, you're pretty much buying direct from the farmer. We bottle it and send it straight to the supermarket. We deliver it ourselves too. It means we can give SA dairy farmers the best possible price per litre. So when you buy Fluorio milk, you're supporting SA dairy farmers and their families. Plus, your money stays here in SA. And in these times, that's good for all of us. Look for the local in your supermarket. Fluorio Milk Company. We're for SA dairy farmers.
Happy 70th birthday, Volkswagen. Mawson Lakes Volkswagen invites you to get in on the celebrations with a huge birthday sale on new and demo Volkswagens. School birthday savings right across the range. Timing is easy with immediate delivery and easy finance options. And it's easy to keep your Volkswagen running like a dream with convenient next-day servicing. Join the VW Club and test drive today. Happy 70th Volkswagen from Mawson Lakes Volkswagen. Just a short drive from the city.
Hi, Bronte Manuel from Toop and Toop. Spring has traditionally been the peak period for selling your home. As the temperature increases, so do the buyer numbers. But one thing that isn't rising is stock levels. This means there's even more demand for those properties that are on the market. Home values are at record highs and stock levels are at record lows. So there's a great chance to achieve a premium price for your home. With a team of unrivaled experience, Toop and Toop knows what it takes to maximise your results. Go to toop.com.au to find out more.
FIVEAA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to FIVEAA on Facebook or YouTube.
The very latest news and information. This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Showers and 17 today with the 7 o'clock news. Good morning, I'm Graham Goodings.
Make RAA-approved windscreen repairer, Complete Windscreens, your insurer repairer of choice. Visit completewindscreens.com.au.
As tensions escalate in the Middle East, the leader of militant group Hezbollah is condemning fresh Israeli strikes and hardware explosions in Lebanon. Europe correspondent Jessica Millwood.
We've now heard from the leader of Hezbollah for the first time since the coordinated, sophisticated attacks involving communication devices. He has labelled it a massacre and said it could be considered a declaration of war. At the time of the televised address, Israeli warplanes were seen flying in the skies above Beirut. Hezbollah and Iran both warning retaliation for the attacks, which have now killed 35, is coming.
Australians on support payments will receive extra cash from today. The age and disability pensions, job seeker and the care and parenting payments are being indexed in line with inflation. A 10% increase in Commonwealth rent assistance is also being rolled out. Social Services Minister Amanda Rishworth says the extra support will help people doing it tough.
This builds on the extra increases that we had in the budget last year, that over the last 2.5 years we've seen a 45% increase in the maximum rate of Commonwealth rent assistance.
Port Adelaide's AFL quarter-final clash against Hawthorn was not only good news for Power fans, but great for hoteliers, with the strongest ever number of rooms occupied in a single night across Adelaide. Latest figures show last Friday night more than 10,000 room nights were occupied across Greater Metropolitan Area, generating $2.3 million in revenue. Tourism Minister Zoe Bettison says the new all-time high eclipses the previous record when global megastar Pink performed at the Adelaide Oval in February this year.
We had the strongest ever rooms occupied, that's hotel rooms in Adelaide on Friday the 13th of September. 10,185 rooms were occupied, a massive surge in last-minute bookings from people from interstate.
Less than 50 days until the US election and the race remains deadlocked, with both candidates back on the trail today. US correspondent Alison Petrovsky.
Oprah Winfrey will hit the campaign trail with Kamala Harris today, the two hosting a virtual rally at an undisclosed location in Detroit. A New York Times Siena poll places the US Vice President 4 points ahead of Donald Trump in the swing state of Pennsylvania, although still within the margin of error. Nationally, the race remains tied. Former President Trump has indicated he will travel to the town of Springfield, Ohio, where he claimed without evidence that Haitian migrants were eating pets. The mayor of Springfield says he does not want either candidate to show up, as he believes it will further inflame tensions already at an all-time high.
Rex Patrick will run for a South Australian Senate seat at the next federal election. Mel Asher reports.
Rex Patrick will run as a Senate candidate under the Jackie Lambie Network banner in the upcoming federal election. Ms Lambie says as former political colleagues, they share the same values, especially when it comes to transparency and accountability in government. Mr Patrick served as a senator for South Australia from 2017 to 2022. Senator Lambie says he's a real alternative to the two major parties. The pair will hold a press conference in Adelaide later this morning.
Kylie Minogue has announced her first stadium tour in 5 years. The pop princess will release a new album called Tension 2 next month, with a tour of the same name kicking off in Perth in January. Adelaide will follow on February 18, then concerts in Sydney, Brisbane and Melbourne. Now the 5AA Sport.
The 2024 Mitsubishi Triton comes with 10 years warranty, plus 3 years free servicing, only at Agostino Mitsubishi.
And Tom Wren, the countdown continues.
Oh, how good's it going to be, Graham? Cannot wait for it. About 12 hours exactly from now until that big prelim final clash, and power forward Charlie Dixon is back in for that clash against Sydney at the SCG. Now, he's going to replace Todd Marshall while Ryan Burton has recovered from his calf complaint, with Will Lorenz making way. And the Swans have made one change, with Robbie Fox coming into the side for Callum Mills, who's out with a hamstring injury. There's another prelim, of course, tomorrow, and Geelong has sprung a major surprise at the selection table ahead of its match against Brisbane, with Zach Tui coming out for Tom Stewart, who's recovered from his own hamstring issue. The Lions are unchanged. Let's go to cricket, and South Aussie Travis Head has put on a masterclass against England in their opening ODI clash at Trent Bridge. He blasted an unbeaten 154 off only 129 balls and took 2 wickets to help the Aussies chase down the 316 required with 7 wickets to spare and 6 overs. He was typically modest following his man of the match performance.
I got a bit lucky, obviously, at the start of the innings, but and Joff bowled a hell of a spell at the start. So, yeah, you know, if you can get through, there's a lot of runs on offer, especially here. It looks a beautiful wicket at the start, so nice I can contribute.
More than contribute, that was outstanding audio there thanks to Fox. Meantime, the Aussie women recorded a 5-wicket win in their T20 clash against New Zealand in Mackay. Jockey Jamie Carr will miss the Caulfield Cup after she was found guilty and suspended over a ride last month. The Victorian Racing Tribunal found Carr guilty of failure to take all reasonable and permissible steps to improve the position of her mount. And in some soccer, Adelaide United's players will train today ahead of tomorrow night's Australia Cup semi-final against the Melbourne Victory. Meantime, plenty of European Champions League action on again this morning. Arsenal held to a 0-0 draw against Atalanta, while Barcelona was beaten 2-1 by Monaco. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Thanks, Tom. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Speak to the Adelaide Convention Centre and let them elevate your vision for your next event or function.
Hello there, got a crash to look out for at the moment in Cherry Gardens. That's on Cherry Gardens Road near Orchard Road. Some roadworks, Green Hill Road near Unley Road in Unley, and Anzac Highway near Morfett Road, Camden Park. Speeds down to 25 k's in both directions there. Cameras to slow down for Addison Road, Pennington, Days Road, Croydon Park, and Tapley's Hill Road in Fulham. Discover South Australia's biggest range of sports brands at Harbour Town. Shop big brands like Adidas with a further 30% off store-wide. Visit harbourtown.com.au. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
And now the 5AA forecast.
See any issue firsthand with AutoCam. Real-time video, direct to you from your Automaster's technician.
17 with showers today, same tomorrow, showers and 17. Sunday a shower to 19, then Monday partly cloudy and 20. Currently it's 12 degrees. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Stay informed, get involved. 5AA, always Adelaide.
Head to your Hyundai dealer for run-out offers across MY24 range. Petrol and diesel vehicles, T's and C's apply.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
8 minutes after 7, good morning to you if you're joining us for the very first time on this Friday, the 20th of September. Big hour of footy ahead. Tim Jennifer's going to join us. We had his thoughts on the prelim final tonight. Bruce McAvaney, part of the Channel 7 coverage for the pointy end of the finals, hosting duties. I always feel like, you know, it's an important sporting event when Bruce McAvaney's involved. Looking forward to chatting with him, getting his thoughts ahead of the both prelim finals just before 8 o'clock. We've got AFL Grand Final ticket competition with yet another clue number 5 today, that might unlock the secret to the footy oval that has your Grand Final tickets, flights and accommodation at it. We will reveal that a little bit later this hour. Well, potentially this hour, but before 9 o'clock.
Getting a mountain of entries too, inspired by poor old Tupperware going into bankruptcy. What's the best thing to come out of the 1960s? Teresa says best thing to come out of the 60s was my husband. Our first date was the summer of 69. I was 17, he was 21. We're still married today. A lot of people too talking about their own Tupperware collections. Quite a few people have the same lettuce crisper with the little green spike in it that they got from their mum or possibly even their grandma or their grandfather. Let's not be gender specific about this. And quite a few about cars as well. One here that I have. Here we go. The best thing to come out of the 60s is my AP6 Valiant, writes Vince. I hope my wife isn't listening while I drive her to the airport. Good on you, mate. Plenty of people heading to the airport too. Plenty of people on the roads.
Exactly
already.
Right. The meat tray, thanks to Liam Jonah and the team, my local butcher, Chanella. 62 Prospect Road at Prospect, asking you the best thing to come out of the 60s. We'll get to some of your calls shortly on 8223 0000. But let's talk about the footy, because you're right. Lots of people on the roads. Lots of people heading to the SCG tonight. Lots of people at the airport. Lots of people in the Coopers Bar at the airport, as it turns out, having chatted with Hayden Nelson in the first hour today. And well, the celebrations might begin, because it is prelim final day and they don't come around every day. The weather in Sydney, we just heard from Chris Kent at the Bureau, maximum of 24 to be at 20 at the first bounce. You look at the forecast, there are light winds by the time it gets to the evening. So 20 degrees, light winds, couldn't be better conditions for the spectacle that's going to be tonight's prelim final. For Port fans that can't be at the SCG tonight, you can go to Alberton. And I reckon the atmosphere at Alberton might be incredible as well. They're playing the game on the super screen there. There are 2,000 people that have already registered their attendance. It's free. You can take a rug along and watch the game that way. The build-up has reached its crescendo. The talking is done. Here was the last word from both coaches. First, Ken Hinkley.
You move forward quick and you move forward to your next challenge, and that's what we've done well this year. We've just stayed in the next moment and the next phase, and for us that is Friday night in Sydney. We don't look back too far, we don't look forward at all. So we just stay in the moment, knowing that every moment you play AFL football, finals or not finals, if you don't bring the right intensity, you leave yourself open to some really bad performances. If you have your intensity at a really high level, you can leave yourself open to some great performances. I think the reality is it's a prelim final. We've been here 4 times before in my time. We're desperate to get through this. We're desperate to get our opportunity. So there's a lot on the line.
Charlie Dixon, Ryan Burton back into the side. Todd Marshall drops out, of course, with concussion. Will Lorenz, the sub last week, drops out as well following the win over Hawthorn. His Swans coach, John Longmire.
They certainly played well against us last time, but this week's a new week. We're really looking forward to it. Great to be playing in a home prelim here at the SCG, so everyone's excited.
Injury concern for the Swans, of course. Callum Mills did his hamstring in training following their win over GWS. He's going to be replaced by Robbie Fox in the selected side for tonight's game. The bounce is 7:10 Adelaide time. The coverage begins on Channel 7 tonight at 6:50. So you see the teams enter the playing arena, the songs and so forth, right after the news wraps up at 6 o'clock tonight.
Jim in Golden Grove says on the Dutton's text line, as a long-suffering Crows fan, watching Port play in a prelim reminds me how much it annoys me that we aren't playing. If we don't make the finals next year, I'm moving to Thailand and become a monk. Good on you, Jim. Namaste.
The state government, I think, had a win yesterday, but it's one of those wins where the win was tidying up what was an absolute mess of your own creation. The museum revamp plan has officially been scrapped.
On the back of that review, we indeed as a government are changing the approach to make sure that the future of the South Australian Museum is a good one, a strong one that makes sure we deliver to the next generation of young people who will look to the institution as a source of knowledge that will empower them.
So unpopular was the government's plan for the revamping of the museum, the removal of specialist scientific roles and reimagining some of its displays, that there was a incredible 350-strong petition from prominent South Australians that featured members of the Greens and what you'd consider the right of the Liberal Party, that both joined forces because everyone found something to hate about the state government's plan to change the museum. The Premier triggered a review, obviously sensing that this was going awry, and said that is going to change. Those jobs I mentioned, the 27 research jobs, are now not going to be slashed. Displays like the Egyptian and polar exhibitions that were considered outdated, they were for the chop.
They're the things
that
drive people to visit.
That's the whole point.
I think there was a bit of a PC view that the Egyptology area was a bit sort of like a Tintin book or something by the people who did the review. Well, that's the exact thing that makes people love it, that it's got a bit of a yesteryear quality. And the polar stuff with Mawson's tent and the recreations of all that, I reckon that's one of the most interesting things.
It is,
there.
and that's got a direct link to South Australia.
Yeah, totally.
That's not just some sort of arbitrary, that'd be an interesting thing to do. Like the whole display tracks SA's involvement and the origins of Douglas Mawson and Adelaide and so forth. That was crazy. They've righted a wrong, but they created the wrong in the first place, so it's hard to give too many plaudits. A $4.1 million funding injection's coming too. Kim Cheetah has resigned as the SA Museum Board Chair, will be replaced by Robert Saint, a geneticist and molecular biologist who's coming on to the board. 14 after 7. Let's take some calls. 8223 One of those is Helen in Glenelg North. Good morning to you, Helen.
Good morning. Look, what's the win-loss after that rest from the preliminary final?
Heavily favours the team that's had the week off, Helen.
Yep.
Big time.
Oh, God.
I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news.
We didn't mean to ruin your morning,
It
Helen.
doesn't mean it's necessarily going to happen, though, Helen. Like, you know.
No, this is not good. But also, real quickly, Charlie Dixon wasn't recovered from whooping cough yet. He wasn't firing on all cylinders prior to it.
It's a big ask, isn't it?
It certainly is.
Well,
Got a bad day ahead of me.
No, hang on, hold the faith, Helen. You just don't know. You know, the last week people thought that Rope Port Adelaide off, and they found a way to win. And
completely.
The same thing may well happen tonight. Keep the faith. Keep the faith. You can fire up after the game, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's right. That's what the 5AA
exactly
phone
right.
line's for.
Timmy G, Scott Camporelli on the call tonight. Let's go to Highbury. Mark, good morning.
Good morning, David William. How are you?
Good, mate.
Good, thank you. William.
Good. The best thing I think that's come out of the 60s is a guy called Darren Treloar. He's Australia's greatest ever speedway sidecar rider, and he's been riding since 1984, so he's 56 now, and he began when he was 16. He's won 11 Australian titles, he's won 44 state titles, and a few world titles, and he's finished 22 times in the top 4 in an Australian title.
Well, that's
a good obscure entry,
That
Mark.
is, I like that, Mark.
We like obscure here.
A lot of people have mentioned things in the world of music, but you know, the CD was invented in the 1960s as well.
Was it?
It was 1965.
Why couldn't we get them until like about 1981 then?
Well, I guess that's the timeline between the patent for the technology and then making it commercially viable.
Remember how much it was like this sort of an SAFM drove it a lot in Adelaide. Was it Love Over Gold, the album by Dire Straits? That coincided with CDs really taking off. And so many people, the first thing they wanted to do when they got a CD was get a Dire Straits CD. Because the crispness of the start of that song, Telegraph Road, and you hear it and you go, oh, this sounds good.
Yeah, well, the origins of it, 1965 rather. Terry in Elizabethvale, good morning.
Yes, good morning, gentlemen.
What's yours, Terry?
I'm going to have to hedge my bets here a little, but sticking with the plastic theme, 1960s brought us Barbie.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And the other one, as a 6-year-old boy, the movie 1 Million Years BC introduced me to Raquel Welch and a loincloth, mate. So I thought.
Yes, I can imagine that would have been
one of the most famous movie posters ever.
It absolutely is. A
Raquel Welch.
Educational moment.
She played Lust in the movie Bedazzled. Very, very well cast.
Thank you for that, Terry. 8223 Kept them coming through. Best thing to come out of the 60s as we talk about the sad demise of Tupperware, the company that came to Australia in a big way in the 60s. 1961, the first Tupperware party. Now the company, $600 million worth of debt. They need someone to come in and bail them out.
Kevin has got a vintage Tupperware collection, and he sent us a picture from Moonta Bay saying this is just a small part of our vintage Tupperware. Beautiful looking retro items there. A few Port fans are on the road wanted to know for next time, or the trip back, I guess, the name of the restaurant in Griffith. It is La Scala, and thanks to Louise, she pointed out, I didn't know this, it's actually moved premises. It's still there, obviously, but Louise says her son lives there, and the food's just the same, and it's still a very special place to dine, but the ambience is not quite the same because it's not in that downstairs location anymore.
The meat tray, thanks to Liam, Joanna and the team. My local butcher, Chanella's, 62 Prospect Road at Prospect. You can text us on the Dutton's text line, jump on the Foodland Supermarkets Facebook and your YouTube live stream, or jump on the phone, 8223 000. We'll take some more calls after 7:30 this morning. Score a new deal every day with Macca's Footy Finals deals only on the My Macca's app.
Yeah, thanks. We've got a crash to look out for at the moment in Cherry Gardens. That's on Cherry Gardens Road near Orchard Road. Some roadworks, Foster's Road near Redwood Avenue in Greenacres, and Waverley Ridge Road near the roundabout in Crafers West. Speeds there down to 25 k's in both directions. Your local IGA has mega dollar deals like Bega cheese slices, 30-pack varieties, only $7 each. That's a hot buy. Offer ends September 24 while stocks last, excludes Foodland. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
5AA Mornings with Matthew Pantelis.
Jason.
Matthew, need your help.
All right.
What's the number you send a text to find if your phone is compatible with 3G or not?
Just bear with me as I
flick back. Was a while ago. Here we go. 3498.
What do you send to that? What do you send
You
to
send the number 3 to that.
Matthew Pantelis.
Thanks for that. Love you. Thanks.
I love you too, Jason, in a brotherly way.
Weekday mornings from 9 on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
The Honda mid-size SUV stock clearance is on now. Get 8 years warranty and 8 years roadside assist, plus a $1,000 Ampol fuel card on 2023 build Honda ZRV and CRVs. Visit us at Formula Honda to test drive today. Ampol fuel card offer valid until September 30. Different warranty applies for vehicles used for commercial purposes. T's and C's at honda.com.au. Hurry into Formula Honda. Find us at Glen Osmond Road, Glen Osmond, or North East Road, Modbury.
Hey guys, did you know that all Austrac Campus hybrids are built for all Australian conditions because they include Pettis shock absorbers and Timken's bearings?
Austrac Campus! Thank you, South Australia. The Hospital Research Foundation Home Lottery has sold out early again. You can be proud that you're having a life-changing impact right now on the health of all South Australians. Someone's about to win the $3.9 million Scott Salisbury Grand Prize. Didn't get your ticket? Become a member today and never miss out again. homelottery.com.au. Licence in 14585.
Sold by McGain again.
And because there's still limited homes available, it's really important to get along to these opens.
So tomorrow from 11 to 11:30am, Mike Dobbin and Zoe Ball opening 10 Bay Place Woodcroft. This beautifully presented 4-bedroom family home set on a large 900 square metre block in a quiet court. It offers 2 separate living areas, an updated kitchen and bathroom, huge undercover entertaining area and undercover parking for 3 cars, plus drive-through access to a double garage and a 4th carport, 869 to 929K.
Then also tomorrow from 1 to 1:30pm, Mike and Zoe, the Dream Team, they're opening 26 Sun Valley Drive, Glenalta. Built in 1965, a great decade, this wonderful character home has stunning views through the tree-lined valley. It's only a short stroll to Belair National Park, and it has 3 bedrooms, sunken lounge, open-plan kitchen, dining, solid timber floors, plus an undercover entertaining area, large stone paved patio, and double-length carport. Best offers by September 25.
Take a look at these properties and all the McGain listings at mcgain.com.au.
Experience Christmas like never before at this year's Enchanted Christmas Party at Adelaide Convention Centre. You'll step into a world of wonder and festive magic as you celebrate the season with your colleagues. Wine and dine under twinkling lights with an all-inclusive 3-course dinner and be dazzled by live entertainment, including Australian Idol songstress Paulini. Don't miss out on the magic of Adelaide's most exciting Christmas party, Enchanted Christmas, this December. Book now via the Adelaide Convention Centre website.
Hey there, is your car's next service coming up? Book your next service at Mawson Lakes Volkswagen. We're famous for our next day servicing. We do complimentary loan vehicles, free car wash and vacuum, or if it's an express service, you can hang out and enjoy Wi-Fi, coffee and snacks. If you need to stay connected and smash out some work, we have a business centre too. Mawson Lakes Volkswagen. For next day servicing, Salisbury Highway, just a short drive from the city.
Rosanna Mangiarelli here from 7 News. Join me and Will Goodings for Adelaide's leading news hour, 7 News, tonight at 6 o'clock.
Head to your Hyundai dealer for run-out offers across MY24 range, petrol and diesel vehicles. T's and C's apply.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
23 after 7, lots of great Dutton's texts coming through. Dutton's car dealerships in the Adelaide Hills and Murray Bridge. Dutton's easy to do business with. People nominating the best thing to come out of the 60s. It's a good range of texts as well. Inventions, sporting memories, musical contributions, you name it. We're getting it on the Dutton's text line. We'll take some of those after 7:30 today and your calls on 8223 0000 before giving away the Chanela's meat tray just before 9 o'clock. The other thing that's happening before 9 o'clock, clue number 5 in our AFL Grand Final ticket competition. And if you're a Port fan daring to dream that you might be, what are we at, 12 hours away from the start of a game where you book your place in that last day in September, well, there's a chance to secure your Grand Final tickets before we come off air today. Clue number 5, guess which oval has your tickets, flights and accommodation.
Narrowing down.
It is getting narrower.
It'll be even narrower still after clue number 5.
Exactly right. That's coming up a little bit later. First, It's time for Timmy G.
Speaking about report cards with distinctions, here's Ginnivan. Tim Ginnivan on 5AA Breakfast.
Timmy G! Timmy G!
Tune in tonight with the Drive Boys when they chat with Robbo, Mark Robinson, get his expert news and opinions about everything happening in the world of AFL Finals footy, all thanks to the Barreau Hotel Group. Timmy, good morning. How are you feeling?
Good morning, boys. Yeah, a little apprehensive, I would say. It's an amazing sort of feeling at the moment. I reckon I was at a carbine lunch yesterday, massive crowd, 650, celebrating the sample grand final between Nord and Glenelg, and the general vibe around was Port will be competitive, but they'll fall short. And that was almost to a person. I'd say 9 out of 10 said, yeah, they'll get close, but they won't win. So that little bit of underdog feeling, I don't mind. I probably prefer that than being raging favourites. And certainly if you follow any of the sports betting things, they're about 3 to 1. So they're quite the outsider. So I'm sort of liking that side of it, if you don't mind. I think I prefer to be the underdog, actually.
Well, the psychology, Tim, compared to last week is so different. Going into that Hawthorn game, Port had the weight of the world on their shoulders. You know, the coach's future, the finals record. It feels like some of that is lifted now. And you go in as underdogs and the pressure's off. Do you think that'll play to the side's benefit, or do you think they actually benefited from having that extra pressure this last week? Because the way they attacked the footy and the body against Hawthorn last week was unbelievable.
I think it definitely helped. I think the edge and everybody being on edge actually really helped the cause, and it was a matter of, hey, not this year. We're not going out in straight sets this year. That's ridiculous. So I think there was a real galvanisation last week, and they really got it done with that pressure. And if they're going to go to Sydney, and if they think they can just perhaps, you know, do it in a clean fashion and bruise-free, well, no. The only way you beat this mob is absolute pressure. So they'll be fired up. They're having a go. I think was it Helen that rang in and you gave her the odds of the team who's had the week off?
Took the wind out of poor old Helen's sail.
I nearly cancelled this phone call after that.
Well, there's all sorts of stats though, Tim, and the other one is that Port haven't lost to Sydney for the last 8 times, so that's a pretty good recent history. Well,
that probably says that you either match up well, you play the Sydney Cricket Ground okay. I think 3 of those wins were at Sydney Cricket Ground. So you've got to say, we're okay against this mob. It's not as if we're, outsiders completely. This is a real winnable game, which then gets into a grand final, which we know this has been the stumbling block for Port in the last decade. So I have I have a nice feeling that I reckon where they're at and their mindset is that I reckon they want to go past this game. I reckon they want to get past this game, get onto the MCG against whatever opponent and start planning then. But I reckon they're keen to take the next step.
Hey, Tim, I was lucky to be there yesterday at the Carbine lunch. You did a great job, mate. And particularly loved your chat with Eddie Fry, Gilbert McAdam and Sean Burgoyne, and also a little brief chat you had with the Centrals legend Sonny Morey. Who do you like for the game Sunday? I know you're going to be covering it as well, calling it. Norwood or the Tigers?
I think Nord are favourite, and the reason for that, their performance all year has just been impeccable. I think they only lost 3 games for the year. They won the second semi quite comfortably. Their only worry is if Glenelg get to a fast start, and why I say that is when you've had the week off, the second semi side who wins tends to start a bit slower, and Glenelg are a very good scoring side and their potent forward line can open you up. So I actually think Glenelg, out of all the finalists, were probably the best chance of beating Nord, and we've got that grand final now. So it'll be an absolute cracker. I'm really looking forward to it because firepower versus Nord's just impeccable system. I think we're going to get a really good grand final.
Yeah, I think it's going to be close. Good on you, Tim. And mate, thanks for all you've done for the Sandful. You've done a great job this year with all your Sandful coverage. It's excellent. So good on you.
No, I love it.
Well, we're looking forward to the call tonight, mate. You, Tuggers, you and Camper. I'm just looking at the Sandful Grand Final call. You, Tuggers, and Brodie Smith.
Correct, yeah. So that should be great. Well, Brodie Smith on the sample, that's his debut, I think.
Is that
right? His special comments debut. So, it could be a futuristic look at where Brodie's going.
That's right. That'll be something. Good on you, Timmy. Looking forward to it. The call tonight is going to be absolutely massive. Ben Jordan sent through a stat. I don't know if this is going to make Helen feel any better. He said the winners of the qualifying finals before the finals bye, so that's the team that get the week off for the prelim. They won 28 of 32 prelims before the finals bye at a win rate of 88%. This is the good news, though, for Port. Since the bye's been introduced, the pre-finals bye in 2016, those qualifying final winners have only been successful in 9 of 16 prelims. It's dropped to a 56% win ratio. So things have gotten easier for the side that's had to play the extra week since the pre-finals bye has come in. So that's good news for Port. Thank you for the stats, as always, Ben.
This is 5AA News, always Adelaide.
Showers and 17 today with the 7:30 news. I'm Graham Goodings.
Chipped windscreen? RAA approved repairer Complete Windscreens repairs it from just $99. Find the big red koala.
The leader of terrorist group Hezbollah has condemned 2 consecutive days of deadly hardware explosions in the country, describing it as a massacre. Hassan Nasrallah has vowed to keep fighting until the war in Gaza is over.
The Israeli army targeted thousands of pagers that were simultaneously detonated. By doing so, the enemy has crossed a red line. Some of the devices exploded in hospitals, pharmacies, markets.
Israeli fighter jets flew low over the Lebanese capital Beirut in the moments before Nasrallah's televised speech, creating sonic booms. Federal government payments are being indexed in line with inflation from today, giving extra cash to around 5 million Australians. The age pension, disability pension and job seeker are among the payments being increased. Labor is also rolling out an increase in Commonwealth rent assistance as part of its cost of living support. Meantime, older Australians are spending months without support while waiting for care at home. The Life on the Waitlist survey suggests demand for care is on the rise, especially for domestic tasks. Anglicare Australia Acting Executive Director May Azizi says patients are being forced to wait so long their condition is worsening.
A lot of them are getting pushed into residential aged care before they're ready, when the whole point is to stop that from happening. And others actually end up in hospital as a result of things like falls because they're trying to cope with daily life without the support that they need.
Australia's population has surpassed 27 million, fuelled by an increase in migrant workers and students. South Australia is one of the slower growing states at 1.5%. WA saw the fastest growth at 3.1%. South Australia's population, 1,874,000. As summer heat waves become warmer and more frequent, researchers are highlighting the need to improve construction standards and retrofits for homes. Most buildings aren't equipped to withstand the extreme weather. RMIT University's Dr. Sarah Robertson says governments need to make changes to housing standards.
Victoria and the ACT are the only states at the moment that are mandating insulation for rental properties. That's something that could be done across Australia. Things like mandatory disclosure of how a house performs thermally and its energy efficiency. That's also something that is being thought about and would be an important place to start.
Around 1,000 residents have fled their homes in eastern and central Italy, where severe storms have battered the area. It's the latest country hit by the weather system, which has barreled through Poland, the Czech Republic, Romania and Austria, killing 23 people. Well, it's a sea of black, white and teal at the Adelaide airport this morning. Channel 7's Hayden Nelson is there.
Had those first couple of flights out. There's 15 flights today to Sydney, and I think after Friday night's result, the amount of people just booking in flights, even before they got tickets to the actual game, really forced the airline's hand to add a couple more because, if you're a business traveller heading off to Sydney this morning, I'd turn the AirPods a bit higher. There are some loud Port fans.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
The 2024 Mitsubishi Triton comes with 10 years warranty, plus 3 years free servicing, only at Agostino Mitsubishi.
The excitement continues to build, Tom.
Oh, it's going to be huge, isn't it, Graham? Yeah, everyone looking forward to it, I think. Sydney hoping to overturn its poor recent record against Port Adelaide when the two sides meet in their prelim final clash at the SCG tonight. Now, the Swans bring in Robbie Fox for the injured Callum Mills, while the Power have brought back Charlie Dixon and Ryan Burton for Todd Marshall and Will Lorenz. You can, of course, hear all the action from that match tonight live here on 5AA. Well, Travis Head and Marnus Labuschagne have played starring roles to help Australia take a 1-0 lead in their 5-match one-day series against England in Nottingham. The two combined for an unbeaten 148-run partnership to help the team chase down 316 with 7 wickets in hand and 6 overs to spare. Head smashed an unbeaten 154 while Labuschagne was not out on 77. Labuschagne also took 3 wickets and took 4 catches while Head chipped in with a couple of wickets himself. And the Aussie women have recorded a 5-wicket win against New Zealand in their T20 clash in Mackay overnight. Phoebe Litchfield with the winning runs.
Tick, 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 boom. There it is. Brings up the win in style, does Phoebe Litchfield. What a knock of note.
Audio thanks to Fox. Yeah, it certainly was. That was her best ever performance in an international T20, making an unbeaten 64. And the World Wakeboarding Championships get underway tomorrow. The must-see spectator sport will have more than 200 competitors on the Gold Coast. 5-time world champion Corey Tunison is hoping to make it 6.
With wakeboarding, there's 2 different disciplines. We got wakeboarding on the cable system, which is like a system that pulls you around in a circle. And then we got behind the boat, which is going to be like the main event, which is at Marine Stadium right next to SeaWorld next weekend.
And Graham, that is the 5AA sport.
Thanks, Tom. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Speak to the Adelaide Convention Centre and let them elevate your vision for your next event or function.
Hey, good morning. Got a crash to look out for at the moment in Cherry Gardens. That's on Cherry Gardens Road near Orchard Road. Some roadworks, Main North Road near Penn Place in Prospect. Foster's Road near Redwood Avenue in Greenacres. And Waverley Ridge Road near the roundabout Crafers West. Speeds down to 25 k's in both directions. The Target Big Brand Toy Sale is now on. Get 20% off toys from Lego, Barbie and more. But hurry, the sale ends October 9. T's and C's apply. See online and in-store for details. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA weather.
See any issue firsthand with AutoCam. Real-time video, direct to you from your Automasters technician.
Showers ahead. Showers and 17 today, showers and 17 tomorrow. Sunday, a shower or 2, 19. Then Monday, partly cloudy, 20. Currently, it's 13 degrees. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Summer's on the way. Beat the rush and organise your Walco pool blanket now. Keep your pool clean, warm and reduce evaporation. Uncover the savings with a Walco pool blanket. Visit walco.com.au.
I'll grab a few people I know. We'll mark out some places to go. There's no invitation, just a destination, and that's the best freedom I know. Jump in the Jayco. Jump in the Jayco. Yeah, that's the best freedom I know.
Participate in a clinical trial and forge the future of modern medicine. A potential vaccine for Alzheimer's disease is being trialled at CMAX and needs your help. The trial requires people aged 40 to 60 who are generally healthy to attend the facility for 1 night plus 7 visits. All eligible participants are paid for their time. Sign up for the trial at cmax.com.au. That's cmax.com.au.
Every dog in Adelaide will be hanging out for this Sunday because this Sunday is Dogs Day Out, 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. at Mobara Park, Mawson Lakes.
Now, this is a free community event run by the great people at the Lions Club of Salisbury, and everyone's welcome. There's going to be food trucks, dog-related market stalls with everything from vet checks to dog treats.
Dog rescues and charities will also be attending with cute puppies for you to meet. There'll be kids' entertainment too, including a jumpy castle, henna and glitter tattoos and face painting.
And it wouldn't, of course, be a Dog's Day Out without dog performances, giveaways and fun dog competitions with amazing prizes. Enter your dog for Best Dressed Dog, Best Lookalike Dog and Handler, and Waggiest Tail or Bottom.
Don't miss Dogs Day Out this Sunday, 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. at Mobara Park, Mawson Lakes, and remember to bring your dogs.
Join Gliderol in celebrating the Colorbond Steal the Show promotion. By purchasing a roller door or sectional door made from Colorbond steel from Gliderol, now or within the last 12 months, you could win $100,000. Visit gliderol.com.au today for a free measure and quote. Retail customers only, T's and C's apply. See colorbond.com/steal the show, 18 plus only. Strict purchase and eligibility criteria apply. Ends 30/11/24. Ignition for Men. Adelaide's home of luxury menswear, offer an impeccable range of suits by leading Italian brands, including the unparalleled quality and style of Armani, Canali, Zegna, and more. Ignition for Men. What you wear speaks volumes about who you are and where you're going in the world. Make your mark with Ignition for Men. 54 Paynham Road, Stepney. Ignition for Men. ignitionformen.com.au.
First is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube. Head to your Hyundai dealer for run-out offers across MY24 range, petrol and diesel vehicles. T's and C's apply.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
20 to 8, Tupperware's gone broke. Came out of the 60s in Australia. 1961, the first Tupperware party happened here. We're asking you for the meat tray this morning. Best thing to come out of the 60s. Bill sent us through a really lovely and personal text on the Dutton's text line. He says, 1960, the best year of my life. Why? I met my wife-to-be, then Lorraine was 14 years old, I was 15 years old, and I asked her for a dance. Now, 2nd of May, 2024, we celebrated our 60th wedding anniversary.
Wow.
Love her so much, so fortunate to be loved and sport by her so much every day. How blessed I am to have asked her for a dance back in 1960. Signed, a very fortunate man, Bill M.
It's
Good on you,
a
Bill.
lost thing, isn't it, meeting at the dance?
Meeting at the dance.
These days you're more likely to meet online.
Well, that's right.
You are, statistically.
Yeah, 60 years from now.
Yeah.
That'll be the sort of...
I think Mum and Dad had their first date was at the Wonderland Ballroom, which I think was on Unley Road, Belair Road, was it not?
Well, that would have been during the 60s
if Mum's
too, would it
listening,
not?
she'll text. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Keep them coming through. Great people at Chanel is providing the meat tray. Liam, Joanna and the team that we love. My local butcher, Chanel, is 62 Prospect Road at Prospect.
There's a good one here from Ben on the Dutton's text line saying, my childhood memory involving Tupperware was that we had two large kitchen drawers. One was for the containers, one was for the lids. And my father losing his mind trying to find one that connects to the other. Good on you, Ben.
All right, well, let's head to Canberra. Zach De Silva is the 9 Radio Federal Politics reporter in what has been a big week in politics. Big week for housing and that debate. And suddenly the spectre, albeit I'm not sure it's quite believable, of a double dissolution election. Zach, good morning to you.
Good morning, guys, and you're right to say it's probably not believable. I don't think we'll be going to the polls early over this, but certainly a interesting thread in what's been a week really dominated by this housing debate.
It's usually just saber-rattling nonsense, isn't it, from the Prime Minister of the day, a double dissolution threat, or indeed, when they have had them, I'm thinking, was it Hawke in 84, and did Turnbull do one as well? They usually blow up in the government's face anyway.
Yeah, exactly, and this is the reason it's probably not going to happen. And this whole story came out a couple of days ago. The Prime Minister did a press conference and was really pushed on, will you call a double dissolution, because he hasn't been able to get this housing legislation through the Senate, which is called the Help to Buy scheme. The idea is the government would take a financial stake in your home if you're a first home buyer, help you get into the market. Hasn't been able to get it through Parliament. And the Prime Minister was really pushed at a press conference by a reporter going, well, will you call a double dissolution election over this? Because, if it's rejected by Parliament twice, you'd have that trigger. And he kind of said, oh, well, we'll have to wait and see. That was the most confirmation we got. It would have been really easy for him to rule it out and go, no, I'm not looking at that at the moment. He didn't do that. He left it open in subsequent interviews. But it wouldn't make sense because for the reasons you say exactly, the whole point of a double dissolution, normally only half the Senate goes up for election at each election because it's a 6-year term if you're a senator. A double dissolution clears the whole lot out. Everyone's up for re-election, and it actually makes it easier for minor parties, people like the Greens and people like independents, can make it easier for them to win a seat in the Senate, which defeats the whole purpose, which is you want a Labor majority there to try and get things through. So it wouldn't make sense for him to call a double dissolution, but the fact that he's even threatening it is really interesting.
Where does it leave the whole housing policy now? 1.2 million homes. It feels like it's stuck in the mud.
Yeah, well, that's right. The government has this broad plan of getting 1.2 million homes built. At the moment, some components of that have gone through things like the Housing Australia Future Fund, which is, I think, 30,000 social and affordable homes. They announced the first amount of cash being rolled out for that this week as well. But other policies like this Help to Buy scheme are stuck in the Senate at the moment. From a political perspective, this week has kind of gone exactly as the government wanted it to go. Like, the
it was a Senate-only sitting week. They've been trying to get this housing legislation through. And the political side of this is they're trying to paint the Greens and the opposition to a certain extent as obstructionists. They're trying to go, don't vote for these people because they're not getting anything done. They're just blocking stuff in the Senate. And I think as far as that strategy has gone, it's worked really well. They got, a couple of days of free kicks in the media bashing up the Greens. And I think the Greens equally are probably pretty happy with how this week has gone as well, because they've been able to go out and go, the government isn't being ambitious enough on the housing crisis. They need to do more, putting forward these a little bit far-fetched proposals of, a rent freeze across Australia, an end to negative gearing, these big, massive reforms that Labor was never going to agree to, but the Greens have been able to kind of grandstand on this as well.
Great stuff, Zach. Zach De Silva there, Nine Radio Federal Politics reporter. Thank you.
I'll tell you what, this gives you perspective on the scale of the housing challenge that's facing Australia at the moment. So the federal government wants to build 1.2 million homes, and this is the big picture idea, and it sounds like a lot of homes. But the Bureau of Statistics released population data yesterday. 510,000 people moved to Australia from overseas in March to this year. The first 3 months of this year, 510,000 people moved here. The big picture plan is to build 1.2 million homes. We're not catching up.
Well, the other thing, the opposition housing spokesman at the state level, Michelle Lensing, she sent me some interesting data a week or so ago. Remember when we had Malling on the show and you asked how many houses have been built so far under Albo's housing?
Yeah, because there's no state-by-state figures.
Yeah, and he said he'd get back to you. But the opposition here thinks the answer to that is none.
Well, they haven't got back to us, have they?
No. No.
Which is generally not a good sign.
Yeah, that's right. Normally when they've got a good story to tell, they ring the next day.
Well, this is not to give the state government any coverage, but that's consistent with other state governments around the country.
Yeah.
There's a lot of talk about housing in Australia at the moment. There's very little action on housing.
Yeah.
Let's put some people in the running to win a meat tray, shall we? Colin and McGill, what's the best thing to come out of the 60s?
Fellas, it's got to be the 1965 Easy Beats classic Friday on my mind.
About time someone got to some musical entries. Good on you, Con. You're in the running to win the meat tray.
That, from memory, that got voted the #1 Australian song of all time in a poll a few years back.
Did it really?
Yeah.
John and Colonel Light Gardens, good morning.
Yes, the song San Francisco, Flowers in Your Hair, May 1967 was the signature song of the peace and love movement in the 60s, and was reflected in Woodstock in 1969 when there was nearly 500,000 people attended and they reckon there wasn't a fight.
Yeah, well, that's right.
If you're going to San Francisco.
If you come to San Francisco, summertime will be loving there.
Good on you, John. You're in the running to win the meat tray as well, as is Ray in Semaphore Park. Good morning to you, Ray.
Good morning. How you going today?
Good
thanks, Ray.
I reckon Donald Campbell breaking the land speed record in Lake Eyre back in the 60s.
Yeah, of course. That was amazing, wasn't it?
Yes, I was up at Maree when that happened. I put the spool on in the post office and sent all the photos back that way.
Seriously, Ray?
Wow.
What a great thing to be part of.
Oh, yes, it was very good, it was. It's going back a while.
That's a terrific entry. I love that.
Good on you, Ray. Thank you. And more time for Meat Tray Friday entries after 8 o'clock. In just a moment, we're turning our attention to the prelim final tonight again with the voice of footy and sport in Australia, Bruce McAvaney, who we are delighted to hear is playing a big role now as part of Seven's footy coverage, anchoring that. He's going to join us on the other side of this break. Who does Bruce McAvaney think is going to win tonight? We'll find out in just a moment. Let's check traffic. Score a new deal every day with Macca's Footy Finals deals only on the My Macca's app.
Yeah, thanks, Will. Got a crash to look out for at the moment in Cherry Gardens. That's on Cherry Gardens Road near Orchard Road, and there's some wet roads out there too at the moment thanks to the passing showers, so be careful of that. Roadworks, John Rice Avenue near Haydown Road, Elizabeth Vale, Causeway Road near Mary Street, Effleton, and Greenhill Road near Portrush Road in Glenside. Craving a snack? Grab an OTR traveller pie or sausage roll for just $3. Rich, authentic flavours at an unbeatable price. OTR, making life easy. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Need a truck, van, car, ute, hybrid, 12 to 25 seater bus or something else? Budget Car and Truck Rental have you sorted. Plus trolleys, trailers, boxes, furniture covers, tapes, blankets and many other accessories. Whatever the job, Budget is your one-stop shop. With multiple locations across Metro and regional SA, it couldn't be easier. Budget Car and Truck Rental. Get to the good stuff. Call 13 27 27 or visit budget.com.au.
Don't let the sun set on your energy savings. With NRG Solar's cutting-edge batteries, your energy independence lasts long after sunset. Enjoy the freedom of solar, even when you're not home. Experience the future of energy. NRG Solar's new warehouse is fully stocked with wholesale solar and battery equipment. See it for yourself. NRG Solar, 1275 South Road, St Mary's, or call 1300 858 160. To explore a brighter, more sustainable tomorrow.
Well, here it is, the big one. It's the Host Plus Sandful League Grand Final. Finals footy has come to this Adelaide Oval this Sunday, Arvo, with Nord taking on Glenelg at 2:30.
Two of the really big clubs. We're hoping for a massive crowd, and of course the curtain raiser, the reserves game. Let's not forget Sturt take on Nord. Help celebrate the Festival of Footy from 11 a.m. too. Under 18s are free. There's a kid-friendly zone with inflatables.
You're unbelievable.
Giant games and giveaways. Well, they should have put that in the script.
Yeah, okay. No.
2 games. Sturt's in one of them.
Yeah.
The big one, 11 a.m. After that, the grand final. Now, look, there's a kid-friendly zone with inflatables, giant games and giveaways, pop-up bars and more. And you can finish the day with Play On, the official after-party in the William McGarry room with free entry.
Make this huge day a ripper day out for the whole family. Tickets are available now through Ticketek. The Host Plus Sandful League Grand Final. Winner takes all. Sandful, nothing beats it.
Next time you pour Fluorio milk into your coffee or tea, over your cereal or in your smoothie, you're closer to being an SA dairy farmer than you think. 100% of Fluorio Co milk comes from our state's best dairy farmers and their families. So when you buy any Fluorio milk product, you become part of that big family too, doing your bit to support our farming families. Look for the local in your supermarket. Fluorio Milk Company. We're for SA dairy farmers.
If you're packing up your family to travel across the land will treat you different in a Dave Benson caravan.
30 years in business and proudly Aussie made. You'll always find the van for you under cover and in the shade. We've got the largest indoor showroom, so come and say g'day. Whether it's a caravan or RV, visit DBC today. So clear out the calendar and cancel all your plans, because there's never been a better time to visit Dave Benson Caravans.
Head to your Hyundai dealer for run-out offers across MY24 range. Petrol and diesel vehicles. T's and C's apply.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
Hey, Dwight, Con's entry for the Metro this morning was Friday on my mind. I think Friday night is on every footy fan's mind because it's the first prelim final tonight. SCG, Port Adelaide and the Swans. We understand the Adelaide Airport was, Hayden Nelson told us earlier, you need earbuds in because it's Port fans singing and celebrating on the road to what they hope is prelim final glory tonight. You can listen to the call on 5AA or watch it on 7 News with the coverage anchored by the greatest to ever do it, our next guest, Bruce McAvaney. Bruce, good morning to you.
Good morning, Will, and you too, David. A very exciting night, eh?
Certainly is, and particularly here in Adelaide, Bruce. It's after that Geelong game, a lot of people were writing Port off, but there was a tenacious win last week. How do you see it playing out tonight?
It's hard to pick, David, isn't it? Because if you can forgive Port that one match against Geelong, their form's been so strong in the back half of the year. And they've got this crazy record against Sydney where they haven't lost to them for 8 seasons. So Sydney have been the top team all year, but they also had a very bad patch, and it was in round 21 that Port hammered them. So, look, the obvious is the Swans. They've had the week off. They're playing at home. But I'm thinking very close. If Port have to bring that pressure, they have to start well, and if they do that, then I think it's a 50-50 match.
Do you recall too many years, Bruce, like this one where for much of the year, now you mentioned Sydney had been the form side early, but for much of the second half of the year, you could have named any one of a half dozen sides that would win the premiership, and people would believe you could make a credible case. It's been incredibly even. I
agree, Will. I can't remember a season so unpredictable. I can't remember a season where you haven't been able to trust clubs. There's no club, even these top four, that you've been able to trust all year. Now, I know Brisbane have had a good back half. They had an awful start. Geelong have had some, woeful performances at times. They had the big losing run after winning their first 7. The Swans we've talked about, and Port have had some horrible moments, that early match against the Crows where it seemed all lost. So you haven't been able to trust or dismiss anyone this season. So it's been weird, wonderful, and I agree with you. It's been so unpredictable, and that's why I'm thinking in these two. I mean, the obvious thing that will happen this weekend is that Geelong and Sydney will win and play in the grand final. But there's been nothing obvious about this season, so why should there be right here and now? So I think both these matches are probably 50-50 matches.
So, Bruce, you sort of retired from commentary in, 2021? It was about 3 years ago, but it's so good that you're going to be back as part of the coverage, sort of hosting the prelims and the granny as well. You've just had... The thing I reckon people love about you, mate, is you just ooze love for the national game. Has it been hard to fully sever ties with it?
It has, David. The last time I actually worked was in 2020. It was the grand final of the Gabba, so it's a long, long time. It's nearly 4 years ago. It has. It's very different watching and not working. I do love the game. I grew up with the game like you guys did. Living in Adelaide, you've got it, don't you? It's part and parcel. But it's been hard to sever the tie. It's a weird thing. If you'd asked me a month ago that I'd be in Sydney tonight, be involved in this telecast, I would have said, no, I'm not happy. This has come out of the blue. It's circumstantial in many ways. I'm not sure what this means for going forward in terms of, I'm 71 years of age, God blimey. I don't think I wouldn't be a high draft pick for anyone. But that said, I'm hoping that it's been a good year for small forwards and I can get a kick over the next 2 weeks.
Maybe not a draft pick, Bruce. You're the one that clubs bring in to put you over the top and win the premiership this season, experience and class. So speaking of that, I mean, you still do a wonderful job covering the horse racing and working for Seven as part of that. Is there a particular itch that calling footy, though, is impossible to scratch with calling and talking about anything else? Or can you sort of satiate that in other ways?
Look, it's about as good as it gets, Will. I mean, they're all different. I've always said that the 100-metre final at the Olympics is probably about as good as it gets. But with footy, there's nothing that quite stirs you like calling football. You work with a team, as you guys do every morning with one another. You work as a team, and I love that relationship. And, tonight I'm going to walk in there and catch up with some people that I haven't worked with for a long, long time. So that part of it I just absolutely adore. I love the game, and I love what it does for me personally when I'm calling. Now, I'm not calling, obviously, over the next 2 weeks, but I think the first 5 minutes of a grand final, and then hopefully the last 5 minutes, sometimes it does, and some are about as wonderful as it gets as a broadcaster. It's a wonderful game to call. It's so flowing and brilliant and a lot of rhythm about it. So I've missed it. I've missed it a lot. I don't think I'll ever go back to calling. Who knows? But, I have missed it. It's been hard to sever those ties. So, look, this is a bit of a gift for me, isn't it, to be involved in these 2 weeks at the really pointy end of the season, in a season that's been like very few others.
You should have got your old mate Dennis Cometti back as well, Bruce. Put the band back together. Get a few of those Comettiisms.
I've reached out to him this week, and he said that I don't feel like getting on the plane.
Fair enough. Geez, we all have, and there's so many lovely messages coming through, Bruce, on our text line at the moment, because you provided so many great memories for people over the journey. I hate to do this because it's just the most predictable thing, but I think everyone's interested. You mentioned you expect Sydney probably tonight, albeit wouldn't be surprised either way. What's your grand final tip, and who do you think wins it?
Sydney and Geelong. I'm going the obvious. And then the Cats. And I wouldn't have said that 2 weeks ago. I thought the footy Geelong played against Port 2 weeks ago is the best I've seen this year. And if they can reproduce that, I think timing might be just right for them, for Chris Scott to get a third flag. But honestly, it's a flip of the coin.
Certainly is. Well, we're delighted you're part of the coverage, Bruce, and everyone's going to be tuning in tonight in Adelaide, that's for sure. Thank you so much for joining us this morning on 5AA Breakfast.
Good on you, Bruce.
It's a pleasure, boys. All the best.
Bruce McAvaney will be hosting Channel 7's AFL coverage. It starts 6:50 tonight, immediately after the 6 o'clock news on Channel 7. You'll see the teams run out, you'll hear the song, all the build up, and then the first bounce is at 7:10 tonight.
I'm high! The Excelsior Hotel has always felt like home, with meals from just $12, like soup from $12 with garlic bread, half beef or chicken schnitzels, $16, sweet and sour pork with rice, $16, bangers and mash, $18, 1 or 2 piece fish and chips from $16, and 250 gram porterhouse, $22. Gotta love the Excelsior Hotel lunchtime menu. Feels like coming home, but better. You just know it's a Bro Hotel.
Don't just send it, ace it.
If your current job is driving you bonkers, get outdoors and hit the road. ACET Transport Solutions is growing and they need more drivers to keep their promise of perfect service. So, if you want a career that'll take you places, get in touch with the team at ACET Transport Solutions. Visit acettransport.au.
Don't just send it, ACET.
The latest local, national and international news for South Australia. This is 5AA News, always Adelaide.
Showers and 17 today with the 8 o'clock news. Good morning, I'm Graham Goodings.
Make RAA approved windscreen repairer Complete Windscreens your insurer repairer of choice. Visit completewindscreens.com.au.
Around 5 million Australians will benefit from increased government payments which are being rolled out today. Commonwealth rent assistance will go up by 10% as part of Labor's cost of living support. The age pension, disability pension and job seeker are also being indexed in line with inflation. Social Services Minister Amanda Rishworth says it'll make a big difference.
For example, a single age pensioner will receive an extra $28 in their fortnightly payment. And for someone on rent assistance, as I said, this will be a 12% increase in their maximum rate.
The Port Adelaide semi-final clash with Hawthorn has broken all records for one-night hotel accommodation in Adelaide. Latest figures show last Friday night more than 10,000 room nights were occupied across Greater Metropolitan Adelaide, generating $2.3 million in revenue. Tourism Minister Zoe Bettison says that beats the record set during the Pink concert earlier this year, and the hotel and hospitality industry still has a lot to look forward to this year.
It's certainly coming up to a really busy time. Chihuly in the Botanic Gardens, absolutely stunning glass sculptures, going to be open for 7 months from next Friday. The Socceroos game, of course, playing China. We can't forget the National Pharmacy's Christmas pageant, and of course the Barlow's 500.
Less than 50 days until the US election, and the race remains deadlocked, with both candidates back on the trail today. US correspondent Alison Petrowski.
Oprah Winfrey will hit the campaign trail with Kamala Harris today, the two hosting a virtual rally at an undisclosed location in Detroit. A New York Times Siena poll places the US Vice President 4 points ahead of Donald Trump in the swing state of Pennsylvania, although still within the margin of error. Nationally, the race remains tied. Former President Trump has indicated he will travel to the town of Springfield, Ohio, where he claimed without evidence that Haitian migrants were eating pets. The mayor of Springfield says he does not want either candidate to show up, as he believes it will further inflame tensions already at an all-time high.
After 5 years, Kylie Minogue is coming home to perform her new arena shows. She'll play at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre on February 18, as well as shows in Perth, Sydney, Brisbane and Melbourne. The tour coincides with the release of Kylie's new album, Tension 2. Port fans who can't be at the SCG tonight can go to Alberton instead. The Oval will be open with the super screen playing the Prelim final live from Sydney. More than 2,000 people have already registered their attendance. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
The 2024 Mitsubishi Triton comes with 10 years warranty, plus 3 years free servicing, only at Agostino Mitsubishi.
And now here's Tom Redden.
Thank you, Graham. The countdown is almost over ahead of tonight's preliminary final between Sydney and Port Adelaide at the SCG. The Power have brought back forward Charlie Dixon after he recovered from whooping cough, replacing the concussed Todd Marshall, while Ryan Burton is in for Will Lorenz, who's been dropped. And the Swans have made the tough call of picking Robbie Fox ahead of Taylor Adams, Fox coming in for Callum Mills, who's out with a hamstring injury. Let's go to cricket, and South Aussie Travis Head's amazing form has continued, smashing his 6th one-day international century and 2nd against England to help the Aussies record a 7-wicket win in their opening clash at Trent Bridge.
Head attributing his great form to a relaxed attitude.
Me just having a bit of a blueprint and a bit of a role, and I enjoy playing for the guys in the sheds and enjoy doing my role. And I've worked extremely hard over a few years, and probably played the game a little bit more relaxed now, and take it for what it is, and try and enjoy what I'm doing. So it's coming off in the way I'm playing.
And the Aussie women had a 5-wicket win in their T20 clash against New Zealand in Mackay. Well, Australia's netballers have shown the ruthlessness that's propelled them to the top of the world netball, thrashing arch rivals England by 13 goals in a match at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre overnight. The NBL season got underway last night with the grand final rematch. Melbourne United to 79-point win against the Tassie Jack Jumpers. In European Champions League action, Arsenal has played out a 0-0 draw with Atalanta, while Barcelona was beaten 2-1 by Monaco. The Wallabies have made 9 changes for the clash against the All Blacks as they look to end a 22-year Bledisloe Cup drought. And in some golf to finish, Englishman Matthew Baldwin is the outright leader after the opening round of the BMW Championship in Wentworth in England. He finished at 7 under. Several big names, including Rory McIlroy, Shane Lowry and Robert McIntyre, are only 2 shots back, while Jason Scrivener is the best of the Aussies in a tie for 15th at 4 under. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Thanks, Tom. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Speak to the Adelaide Convention Centre and let them elevate your vision for your next event or function.
Hey, good morning. Some wet roads at the moment thanks to the passing showers, so be careful of that. There's a crash to look out for in Cherry Gardens. That's on Cherry Gardens Road near Orchard Road. And in Mount Compass, a car has gone into a barrier. That's on Victor Harbour Road near Peters Terrace. Harris Scarf's mid-season sale is on now. Save 50% off all air fryers by Healthy Choice. Exclusions apply. Harris Scarf. Great brands, great prices. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
And now the 5AA forecast.
See any issue firsthand with AutoCam. Real-time video, direct to you from your Automaster's technician.
It's showers ahead. Showers and 17 today, showers and 17 tomorrow. Sunday, a shower or 2, 19. Then Monday, clearing up, partly cloudy and 20. Currently, it's 13. More news as it happens on 5AA.
When the mornings start getting warmer and the sun rises a little bit earlier, the dream you let lie dormant over winter wakes. It's time to start with Olympic Industries Spring Sale. Huge savings on locally engineered verandas, carports, garages, tool sheds and more. Start building your dream now. And one day you'll look back at where it all started. In your own backyard. With Olympic Industries Spring Sale. On now.
The Steinborner Group has done it again. The Jack T9 Ute has landed at Jack Motors in Gawler. Enjoy a 5-star ANCAP safety rating, a 7-year warranty, 7-year roadside assist and 7-year capped price servicing. The Jack T9 features a 2-litre 4-cylinder turbocharged diesel engine. This 4x4 dual-range ute boasts an impressive 3-tonne towing capacity, a 1,045-kilogram payload and a tray that fits a standard pallet. Starting from just $45,980 drive away, Jack Motors is well worth a trip. Visit gawlerjackmotors.com.au.
In Adelaide and across South Australia, this is 5AA, always Adelaide.
Head to your Hyundai dealer for run-out offers across MY24 range, petrol and diesel vehicles. T's and C's apply.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
7 after 8, breaking 8 coming up in just a moment. Now, if you've just tuned in, good news, we haven't yet given away clue number 5 in the AFL Grand Final ticket competition, but I have seen the official envelope knocking around the producer's booth. So that means it's not too far away.
Imminent.
Clue number 5 is imminent. That's a nice way of putting it. So too, Feedback Friday, we will give away $100 worth of Samtas seafood and some Wallace movie passes after 8:30 today. We've got a meat tray to give away. We're going to even Jade Rodman too, who's at the airport. She's making her way to Sydney to go watch the prelim final. So wonder how that revelry that's going on at the airport is playing out as we speak. We'll find out shortly.
Jade's on her way to Sydney. This time, a bit over a week ago, Matt Nan, who's in the studio with us now, former very senior SA Copper Superintendent Matt Nan, who was in charge of the city beat for a long time. He was on the ride to remembrance in honour of fallen police officers, and he's very kindly popped into the studio this morning, having returned on his hog from Canberra. Did the trip in one day as well, Matt. What about that?
Yeah, no, it was a fair ride coming through for 13 hours from Canberra.
Ooh. So there were about 1,900 police and supporters who did the ride all up. It sounds like a great thing.
Absolutely, it was absolutely perfect day. Although the clouds did roll in, we thought it was going to really explode on us, but it turned out to be an absolutely magnificent ceremony in that afternoon.
We had the Commissioner in earlier this week, and he said he was there to meet you guys in Murray Bridge as you were heading off for the breakfast, and then you went down to Lucendale to see Doigie's family as well. That must have been pretty full on.
Yeah, we caught up with Mum and Dad, had a barbecue down at Lucendale, and they welcomed all the riders in, and that was really moving to catch up with Mum. And then as we went through Dalesford in Victoria, we caught up with the two brothers.
Yeah, right.
Brett and Greg, and had a chat to them, and they were most appreciative of the support.
Well, the reason you're here today, mate, and you come bearing gifts.
I do.
These look like, I don't know if Will's watching, being a TV star, he's got to keep himself in tip-top condition. These blue ice donuts. Next week, Blue Donut Week with a nod to Chief Wiggum on The Simpsons, I guess, mate. Coppers and donuts go hand in hand.
I wondered whether I was here to support Port as a Crow supporter.
Well, I'm a bit worried. Yeah, they're teal.
Yeah, are they teal?
They're
almost
teal blue.
Yeah, they're just about.
But Blue Donut Week, this is in the lead-up to Police Remembrance Day. And tell us a bit about that part of the cause.
But, going about 4 years, a great idea to come through, because obviously police legacies are charities, and we work on the donations and to keep all our services going. And in this case, we've been back certainly this morning, if I can put a plug in for the Hyde Park Bakery, because they knocked these out for us this morning, and they're absolutely magnificent.
That's a good bakery, that one.
Oh, it's brilliant. I had
Good
a coffee
pasties
there this morning.
Yeah, really good.
Drake's, along with Villiers, have really got behind us, and we've got 18 other independent bakeries around South Australia. They'll all put these together from Monday, and Police Legacy receives $1 from each donut. So
that's excellent.
It really adds up.
Well, we were talking last week about how you're driven by donations, so people should keep their eyes out at all of those locations you mentioned, Matt. But thanks for coming in, mate, and I'm going to hoof into one of them straight after the show.
Absolutely. I hope you enjoy it.
Good on you, mate.
They do look magnificent.
Great seeing you, Matt. Thank you, mate.
Thank you very much, guys. It's really appreciated.
All right, 11 minutes after 8, and it's time for Breaking at 8. Breaking at 8 this morning comes to us by way of a listener who sent us through a story, and it goes to the big picture conversation we're having in Australia and South Australia at the moment about the housing crisis and some of the measures that are in place to try and get people into homes. Are they working? We'll let you be the judge. We've been told the story of a young couple who spent the last 4 years saving a 20% deposit for a new apartment, signed a contract for an off-the-plan apartment, cost them $589,000 in September of 2022. The completion of the apartment is September this year. So 2 years later, you sign the agreement 2 years before, and it gets built now. The settlement is September 30 later this month. So it's been a long process. In June last year, you might recall that the state government and Revenue SA announced they were abolishing all stamp duty on new properties like this for first-time buyers who settle from June 2023 onwards. The maximum price of a contract was capped at $650,000. So to review, this apartment, $589,000, ticks that box. They settle after the June 2023 announcement date. So you'd say, great, stamp duty not required. Not so, though. They have been told they don't qualify for stamp duty relief because the contract was signed back in September 2022, even though the settlement doesn't actually happen until the next week, or the next 10 days. So what that amounts to for this young couple, according to the information we've been given, is a $26,000 stamp duty fee they have to pay to the state government that otherwise would have been spent on local tradies, fixing up the place, furnishings and so forth, all would have gone into local business. And at the same time, facilitated a young couple getting into housing, which is the idea behind this entire initiative. Now, you can apply to Revenue SA for an exemption at a cost through your conveyancer. They've done that, and it's been denied. And they say, and I think there's certainly merit in this, it's not really in the spirit of what's being trying to be achieved here in South Australia when it comes to getting young people into homes and giving some, the financial well-being to do so and spend some money in the process. When it's essentially an accounting issue.
That's right.
It's a bookkeeping issue. They're not receiving the property until the time. It's not being built until in the appropriate time. It's just that the contract was officially signed just beforehand.
There's a few different elements to this, and one is some people might say, well, hang on a minute, think back to the Howard years where you had the baby bonus, and there were stories about people whose babies were being born just before the baby bonus kicked in. Some people would say, well, there's got to be a start date for any government measure. Well, where it gets a bit weird, and I know this is going to become more of a political issue, I've been talking to the state opposition about it, In fact, Vincent Tarzia sent me a line about this the other day, saying South Australia is the only jurisdiction not to offer stamp duty exemptions for first home buyers on existing homes, which is flagging one area where the opposition is looking at coming up with its own policy position. But part of the weirdness is, and this is from the government's own website, there's a bit of a Q&A, when does stamp duty relief apply from? It says, I entered into a contract before June 15, 2023. Can I cancel this contract and sign a new one to get stamp duty relief? And it says, if you entered into a contract to buy a new home or an off-the-plan apartment, vacant land or house and land, and subsequently have had to cancel that contract, you may still be eligible for stamp duty relief. But if the original contract and your new contract are for the purchase of the same new home or vacant land, Revenue SA may not accept the new contract, and therefore the stamp duty relief for eligible first home buyers will not apply. Now, there's all sorts of pedantry behind that, I think. I guess they're saying, look, you can't just cancel it for a bit of a lark and go, oh, we're not buying, oh, now we are buying after the date. But if you do cancel, or if you have to cancel, like, it goes to your point, Will, which is, if the whole point of this is about giving people a leg up, why just not change the dates?
Certainly, if you have it, you've got a measure already in place to appeal these decisions, or to say it's a bit unfair or it's not being applied fairly. If you've given discretion, why isn't this a case where there's discretion's able to be applied?
They should review the case for this young couple again, because there's a lot of money that they're missing out on.
And so, well, and by virtue of that, the local tradies and businesses are missing out on.
Correct.
15 minutes after 8, very shortly, Jade Robran at the airport, and I'm going to tell you this, next 10 minutes, another clue and a chance to go to the AFL Grand Final. Stay listening. That chance and that clue coming up before 8:30 this morning. Let's check traffic. Score a new deal every day with Macca's Footy Finals deals, only on the My Macca's app.
Hey, good morning. Some wet roads at the moment thanks to the passing showers, so be careful of that. There's a crash to look out for in Cherry Gardens. That's on Cherry Gardens Road near Orchard Road. And in Mount Compass, a car has gone into a barrier. That's on Victor Harbour Road near Peters Terrace. Harris Scarf's mid-season sale is on now. Save 50% off all air fryers by Healthy Choice. Exclusions apply. Harris Scarf. Great brands, great prices. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA Sports Show. Stephen Rowe and Tim Jennifer.
I'll tell you what, a man that knows all about September, Gavin Wanganeen.
It's a prelim, it's a spot for a grand final, so it's anyone's game.
I was at that AFL Grand Final. We're on the half-forward flank, and I reckon Gav kicked 4 in front of us. You kicked 4 in the second half, didn't you, Gav?
The 5AA Sports Show.
Yeah, it was 4 in under 10 minutes.
Weekdays from 4 p.m. on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
The Honda mid-size SUV stock clearance is on now. Get 8 years warranty and 8 years roadside assist, plus a $1,000 Ampol fuel card on 2023 build Honda ZR-V and CR-Vs. Visit us at Formula Honda to test drive today. Ampol fuel card offer valid until September 30. Different warranty applies for vehicles used for commercial purposes. T's and C's at honda.com.au. Hurry into Formula Honda. Find us at Glen Osmond Road, Glen Osmond, or North East Road, Modbury.
Beechwood Homes, Adelaide's leading bespoke home builder, celebrates 35 years. Over that time, they've helped many hundreds of people realise their dream of building a home exactly how they envisioned it. That's the wonderful thing about building with Beechwood. There are no set plans, no set rules. It all starts with a pen, paper, and your ideas. Just like it did 35 years ago. If you can dream it, Beechwood Homes can build it. Life's good. It's even better in a Beechwood home.
Hearing loss as we get older is annoying for all involved, but help is here. If you're struggling to hear your loved ones or find yourself turning the TV volume up way too loud, well, here is some great news.
Audica has opened new hearing clinics in Glenelg, St Agnes and Golden Grove, continuing their mission to help more people hear better. With 56 Audica clinics statewide, personalised hearing care is always nearby.
If you're over 26, you can book your free hearing check today. Call 1300 460 460 or book online at audica.com.au.
Love your ears. Book today at Audica.
Everybody knows Right Price are the heating and cooling experts. So imagine how much you can save when they join forces with EcoVantage, the incentive experts. Together with Right Price, EcoVantage will help you source all the government incentives you're entitled to when it comes to heating and cooling your home, including energy-efficient heat pump hot water systems. Right Price and EcoVantage, the best of both worlds when it comes to heating, cooling and government incentives.
Rosanna Mangiarelli here from 7 News. Join me and Will Goodings for Adelaide's leading news hour, 7 News, tonight at 6 o'clock.
Head to your Hyundai dealer for run-out offers across MY24 range. Petrol and diesel vehicles, T's and C's apply.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
90 minutes after 8, very shortly, clue number 5, an AFL Grand Final ticket giveaway. Before we get to that, though, let's get to the airport where a whole heap of Port fans are about to jump on a plane, hoping they'll see their side book their place in the Grand Final a little bit later tonight. Jade Robran is at the airport, thanks to Dutton's. Morning to you, Jade.
Good morning, Will and Dave. There is certainly a vibe happening down here at the airport. It's a bit of a sea of teal and black this morning. I have just arrived a short time ago and headed straight to the Cooper's Bar, where it is packed with Port supporters having a few beers. There's about another 4 flights leaving up until about 11 o'clock, which are jam-packed. There are hundreds of Port fans down here this morning. Everyone's so happy. I've got my Port scarf and, you know, you're just walking along and you get the nod. Can't the pair. They can get it done. There's this mutual respect for everybody. These Swannies, my son's walking around with his Swannies scarf, so I'll disown him in about half an hour's time. But I had a really good chat with a whole stack of Port supporters. Here's how excited they are.
Jake, Dave and Nathan, are you pumped?
Absolutely. Count the pair.
How much are they going to win by?
26 points. Done.
Can you believe the day's finally here?
No, I can't. We're just pumped to get over there and hope they can get the job done.
Now, you got a nice big coldie there, a pint. Is that to settle some nerves, or are we feeling all right?
Yeah, settle some nerves, but first of many for the trip, so see how we go.
Ben and Robert, we're at the airport. Few coldies to settle the nerves, perhaps?
That's right. It's going to be a big day.
Can you believe it's here?
Yeah, no, it's been a tough week. It's been a lot of nerves going on. I'm just glad that it's here finally, yeah.
So what does the day hold?
So go to the hotel, maybe grab for lunch, and then head to the RSL at 4 o'clock.
Can they do it?
Of course they can.
I'm all decked out in your Port gear. You pumped?
Absolutely, yeah. Looking forward to getting over there and see how the boys go.
How do you reckon they're going to go?
I think it'll be a tough challenge, but I think you got to give yourself a chance to win it. So that's you got to rock up.
As a fan, you're passionate. How are you feeling right now?
Excited. It's been a big build-up, obviously, and you just want the boys to give the best shot and hope for the best. But yeah, it's excited to get over there and hope that it goes well for us tonight.
Just looking at some of the imagery you've put up for us, Jade, on the Foodland Supermarkets Facebook and YouTube live stream. Jesus, a long run-up if you're having beers this morning. I wanted to ask you, though, you're a seasoned football watcher, huge fan, you know footy as well as anyone. What are you expecting tonight? Do you think Port can get up?
Oh, absolutely. They have got the blueprint to get this done. It is going to be, and I know it's a cliche, it's a midfield battle, but Errol Goulden, Heaney, and against Jason Horne-Francis, Connor Rosie. I mean, my God, it's going to be spectacular. I'm in a really difficult situation here because Ben manages about 6 of the Sydney Swans boys and obviously a couple of the Port boys. So they feel like my babies. So I'm sitting on the fence tonight, but 100% Port can get it done. We know the record. We know what happened at Adelaide Oval last time. Sydney are 100% not going to let that happen again. They're going to come out all guns blazing. They're still hurt from the last grand final showing against Geelong where they just didn't rock up. They're not going to let that happen again. Port, my God, their lead up to September has been controversial, as we know. They're fired up too. I mean, they sometimes say that this game is better than the grand final. It's going to be electric, but, oh, God, guys, I know you're going to ask me who I think is going to get up. I reckon it's, oh, God, I reckon it's going to be Sydney. It hurts.
Yeah, it sounds like you're passing a stone there, Jay.
I know.
Goulden, Heaney, Connor Rosie. Ben doesn't have average footballers on his books, does he? They're all superstars of the competition.
I know, isn't it incredible? And
Wow.
we've got Dane Ramsey playing his 250th, Isaac Heaney playing his 200th. So it's a huge weekend for us personally. But yeah, I'm so excited. But I'm like, I kind of channel the mum vibe here. I was talking to Trish Francis, Jace's mum, last night, and we're both nearly crying on the phone. Like this moment for parents and those in the inner sanctum, it's everything. Everything leads up to this, and then just to talk to all the passionate fans, man, nothing gets any bigger.
Through Ben's work being a player agent, Jade, you must get to the point. I mean, you mentioned talking to Jason Horn-Francis's mum. Like, you must get to the point where, like, you would have had these blokes round to your house and know their parents, all that sort of stuff. You'd have a very close relationship with them, I'm guessing.
Oh, 100%. I mean, well, one of them is potentially staying with us if Connor's dad gets over. He's going to stay at our apartment in Sydney, and we'll be catching up with Isaac Heaney's mum beforehand for the 200th, and especially during Ben's accident, all of these boys were around at our place when they were playing in Adelaide, and they mean so much to us. We're a small boutique family business, and they are honestly part of our family. We are. We're really, really close. And, I was on the text messages with, Connor last night, wishing him all the best. I feel like he's my third son. I know that sounds crazy. But I do. I love them. I love them like they're my own. And I want nothing but success for them. They work so bloody hard, and they're such good humans. And, yeah, it's a pretty amazing journey to be on and be in the inner sanctum. It's certainly not lost on me, that's for sure.
It's a great insight, Jade, and you understand why it's harder for than someone like Jade to give a tip, because she knows these guys. They're 17, and sometimes they're moving state, and the person who where their parents have always defended them, the person who's looking after them in their interests is their agent and the business that Jade's a part of with Ben, and so you've got a stake in it that goes beyond just cheering on footy. You're seeing young guys and then getting to the pinnacle of their professional careers.
For those of you watching on the Foodland Supermarkets live stream, Sam Daddo just entered the studio with an envelope.
Yeah, we raised 4 corners of the globe for the Holy Grail.
All right. Shall we open it?
Yes, why not?
Flights, tickets, accommodation. That's what you're playing for. AFL authorised GF promotion GFAFL 24/156. Imagine going to the game tonight or watching the game tonight knowing if Port win you're going next weekend.
Wow.
I mean, imagine the pressure then. Let's open it. The extra glue. I don't know if this Sam Daddo's saliva is extra. Seems to be very extra powerful this morning. I'm not sure. Maybe he's frothing at the mouth.
Licking his lips.
He does have he's got his port jumper on.
He has got the
very
jumper on.
Very adhesive.
Port jumper on, I mean.
Okay. Oh, this is a bit of a homegrown clue, this one. So, clue number 5. Which oval currently is home to your tickets, flights and accommodation to the grand final? Here's the clue. From our studios here at 5AA in Hindmarsh Square, the oval is located less than 10 Ks away as the crow flies. Fewer than 10 Ks away as the crow flies. So as the crow, for people that aren't familiar with the turn of phrase, it means the direct line. It's not winding through roads. It's not. It's literally a straight line between the 2 points. So within 10 Ks of Hindmarsh Square, of 5AA here at Hindmarsh Square.
Well, that rules out a lot of the outer suburbs.
It does.
Well, rules out all of the outer suburbs.
Rules out a lot. 8223 Get calling now. Already people are. Hundreds of people are calling trying to get the AFL Grand Final tickets. Now, we've had a few texts, people saying, where are they on the website? Are they available somewhere else? Well, you have to listen to the show, and you can listen to the podcast each and every day after the show if you did miss the clue. That said, who knows? Does it go off right now? Let's find out. Lots of callers currently on the line. I think it's going to be someone in Tanunda. And it's going to be Bob in Tanunda. Morning to you, Bob.
Good morning, fellas. How are you today?
Good, thank you, Bob. You're a big power man, mate.
Beg your pardon?
Are you a big Port fan, Bob?
No, Crows, mate.
Yeah. Crows would be, in the Barossa Valley way, the Crows would be dominant, the most supported team, wouldn't they, Bob?
Absolutely.
Yeah, bit of a heartland out there.
Next season, not a problem.
All right. Unfortunately, the tickets are for this season. But you know what? There's no experience like going to an AFL Grand Final.
You can't hold them and try to go next year whenever the rebuild's over.
No, it'd be great to go.
Bob,
yes, mate.
Work us through the clues, what you've heard so far, and how it relates to the Oval you think the tickets are hidden at.
Right. Yellow. Older than 55 years. I forgot what the others are now. Somewhere where you'd like to hang out at, in the summer. So I came up with, and I hope it's right, Glenelg.
Glenelg. Now, Glenelg would be right on the edge of the...
How long is the City to Bay fun run, though?
Yeah, but that's not as the crow flies.
That's not as the crow flies. So, yeah, I was just hoping.
The Bay. They play cricket there.
They do.
Buckled wills like me play a game of cricket there.
They've had a couple of A games there, haven't they?
Yeah,
I'm sure they have.
They Shield final there a few years ago.
Glenelg Oval, home of the Bays. Sorry, Bob.
Bad luck, Bob.
It's not Glenelg Oval, but that was a guess that I think... So we know what we'll do. We're going to get Sam Dado to plug in the As the Crow Flies on online and to see how far Hindmarsh Square 5AA is to Glenelg Oval.
I think it's less.
We'll work it out. We'll work it out and we'll reveal it after the break.
I don't think it's less than 10 kilometres.
You don't think it is?
It's more than 10 kilometres.
All right, we'll find out.
Anzac Highway is almost as the crow flies from Adelaide to Glenelg, isn't it?
Well, let's find out. We'll do it after the break.
It's a slightly kinky crow.
What it means is next week, clue number 6 comes Monday in the build-up to the AFL Grand Final, where you'll have another chance to win and another clue will be revealed. Feedback Friday's next. If you'd like to play Feedback Friday, call now 8223 0000. Sam and Lucy, we're ready to take your call. Everybody wins. Someone gets $100 worth of Samtas seafood. Someone else will get a Wallace Cinemas pass. In fact, everyone, the other 2 contributors, will get a Wallace family pass. That's coming up after the break. Feedback Friday. Get calling now.
This is 5AA News, always Adelaide. Showers and 17 today with the 8:30 news. I'm Graham Goodings.
Chipped windscreen? RAA approved repairer Complete Windscreens repairs it from just $99. Find the big red koala.
The leader of terrorist group Hezbollah has condemned 2 consecutive days of deadly hardware explosions in the country, describing it as a massacre. Hassan Nasrallah has vowed to keep fighting until the war in Gaza is over.
The Israeli army targeted thousands of pagers that were simultaneously detonated. By doing so, the enemy has crossed a red line. Some of the devices exploded in hospitals, pharmacies, markets.
Israeli fighter jets flew low over the Lebanese capital Beirut in the moments before Nasrallah's televised speech, creating sonic booms. Federal government payments are being indexed in line with inflation from today, giving extra cash to around 5 million Australians. The age pension, disability pension and job seeker are among the payments being increased. Labor is also rolling out an increase in Commonwealth rent assistance as part of its cost of living support. Meantime, older Australians are spending months without support while waiting for care at home. The Life on the Waitlist survey suggests demand for care is on the rise, especially for domestic tasks. Anglicare Australia Acting Executive Director May Azizi says patients are being forced to wait so long that their condition is worsening.
A lot of them are getting pushed into residential aged care before they're ready, when the whole point is to stop that from happening. And others actually end up in hospital as a result of things like falls because they're trying to cope with daily life without the support that they need.
Police are investigating a shed fire at Camden Park this morning. It broke out at the rear of a unit complex on Anzac Highway around 4:20. The shed's been destroyed. Police are treating it as suspicious. Port Adelaide's AFL quarter-final clash against Hawthorn was not only good news for Power fans, but great for hoteliers, with the strongest ever number of rooms occupied in a single night across Adelaide. Latest figures show last Friday night more than 10,000 room nights were occupied across Greater Metropolitan Adelaide, generating $2.3 million in revenue. Tourism Minister Zoe Bettison says the new all-time high eclipses the previous record when global megastar Pink performed at the Adelaide Oval in February this year.
We had the strongest ever rooms occupied, that's hotel rooms in Adelaide on Friday the 13th of September. 10,185 rooms were occupied. A massive surge in last-minute bookings from people from interstate.
Australia's population has passed the 27 million mark, fuelled by an increase in migrant workers and students. South Australia is one of the slower-growing states at 1.5%. WA saw the fastest growth at 3.1%. SA's population, 1,874,000. Well, it's a sea of black, white and teal at the Adelaide Airport this morning. Channel 7's Hayden Nelson is there.
Had those first couple of flights out. There's 15 flights today to Sydney, and I think after Friday night's result, the amount of people just booking in flights, even before they got tickets to the actual game, really forced the airline's hand to add a couple more because, if you're a business traveller heading off to Sydney this morning, I'd turn the AirPods a bit higher. There are some loud Port fans.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
The 2024 Mitsubishi Triton comes with 10 years warranty, plus 3 years free servicing, only at Agostino Mitsubishi.
And Tom Wren, I bet you're looking forward to calling the big game tonight.
Oh, can't wait. It's so exciting, isn't it, Graham? It's going to be brilliant. It will be on 5AA, of course, tonight. The sports show beforehand as well, so huge build-up. And it's promising to be a tight and tense prelim final between Sydney and the Power tonight at the SCG. Legendary caller Bruce McAvaney telling David and Will he's not sure who will come out on top.
If you can forgive Port that one match against Geelong, their form's been so strong in the back half of the year. And they've got this crazy record against Sydney where they haven't lost to them for 8 seasons. So the obvious is the Swans. They've had the week off. They're playing at home. But I'm thinking very close. If Port have to bring that pressure, they have to start well. And if they do that, then I think it's a 50-50 match.
Yeah, let's hope it's going to be a close contest. Charlie Dixon and Ryan Burton come into the side at the expense of Todd Marshall, who's injured, while Will Lorenz has been dropped. Geelong take on Brisbane in the other prelim final tomorrow. Meantime, Bailey Smith is remaining tight-lipped on his playing future. The midfielder has requested a trade from the Western Bulldogs. The Cats have expressed interest in securing the star dog. The 23-year-old telling Today his manager is handling it.
I'll weigh up my decision with my management. They're sorting it out, so we'll figure it out.
Five-time All-Australian, meantime, Jeremy McGovern has capped off his season with the club's highest individual honour, the John Worsfold Medal. The 33-year-old polled 184 votes to edge out midfielder Elliot Yeo. To netball now, and there was a game here in Adelaide overnight. It was the Australian Diamonds winning 70-57 against the England Roses. The coach, Stacey Marinkovic, delighted with her team's ability to get the job done.
I thought you could see some really good contest in movement of how we're going, and I think there was some real ball speed.
Yeah, it was a great win, and last night the NBL season tipped off. It was Melbourne United with a 9-point win over the defending champions, the Tassie Jack Jumpers. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Thanks, Tom Wren. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Speak to the Adelaide Convention Centre and let them elevate your vision for your next event or function.
Check out Foodland's late week specials like a 125-gram punnet of delicious Aussie blueberries for just $2.80. Hurry, offer ends today at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies. In Mount Compass, a car has gone into a barrier. That's on Victor Harbour Road near Peters Terrace. And the roads are wet too, of course, thanks to those passing showers, so be careful of that. Some cameras, Airport Road, Brooklyn Park and Green Hill Road, Uradler. At OTR, put your next coffee on ice. Swells of delicious barista-made coffee poured into ice-cold milk. Feels like summer. OTR, making life easy. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
And now the 5AA forecast.
See any issue firsthand with AutoCam. Real-time video, direct to you from your Automasters technician.
Showers and 17 today, showers and 17 again tomorrow, then Sunday, a shower or 2, 19, Monday. Looking good, partly cloudy, 20. Currently it's 14 degrees. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Feedback Friday coming up in just a few moments' time. 2 spots available. Get calling now, 8223 0000. Everybody wins a prize. We've got 2 Wallace family passes for the runners-up, and the winner gets a $100 Samtas seafood voucher. So get calling. Sam and Lucy ready and waiting to take your calls, 8223 0000. Next 2 will be part of Feedback Friday.
These days you can charge your phone, your watch, your laptop, your bike, even your car. Well, the day has finally come where you can charge your excavator. I know, you can charge your very own excavator, but only if it's a Volvo electric excavator. It's not noisy, it's pretty much silent, it's green, there's no emissions, and it'll leave you without a worry in the world. How good. Inquire today through Warren Mining for all your construction equipment needs. Warren Mining. Enjoy the sound of silence.
Duttons have been easy to do business with for 75 years. Clearly, people enjoy the experience. Just one quick trip up to the hills or onto Murray Bridge and you have 12 vehicle brands to choose from. Everything from Ford, GWM and Haval, to Hyundai, Isuzu Ute and LDV, to Mazda, Mitsubishi and Nissan, to Ram, Subaru and Volkswagen. That's a whole lot of choice and much less running around. Dutton's Mount Barker and Murray Bridge. Duttons.com.au. LDV 90.
Duttons. Easy to do business with.
Now's the perfect time to open your heart and home to a new pet during RSPCA SA's half-price adoption week on now until this Sunday at their new O'Halloran Hill home.
RSPCA pets are perfectly adoptable and waiting for their forever home.
Did you know all RSPCA pets are vet-checked, desexed and vaccinated?
Find the perfect pet to join your family during RSPCA SA's half-price adoption week on right now until this Sunday at their new home at the corner of Majors and South Road, O'Halloran Hill. For more on adoptions, visit the website rspcasa.org.au.
Renovating or building? Then bring your dreams to the Building Ideas Centre and make them a reality. Our new huge showroom offers an exciting mix of the best manufacturers and designers in town. With dozens of inspirational businesses under one roof, you'll find the right products and advice to fit your budget. The Building Ideas Centre offers on-trend design and expert advice. And even if you're just in the planning stages, we're here to help. Show us your dreams at the Building Ideas Centre, 279 Grote Street in the city.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube. Head to your Hyundai dealer for run-out offers across MY24 range, petrol and diesel vehicles. T's and C's apply.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
20 minutes to 9.
Oh, David Lee Roth.
It's time for Feedback
I want to
Friday.
be like David Lee Roth. There's a song for you.
Don't complete the lyric.
Feedback. Friday today, so have you say feedback.
Don't Google it either.
No.
Feedback Friday. $100 worth of Sabotage seafood. Or two Wallace Cinema passes to give away. So everyone's going to win. Andrea, Basil and Luke. Let's start with Andrea. Good morning to you.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited about this.
We're excited to have you on, Andrea. Is this your debut?
I hope I don't have to make like a mushroom and not know something. But anyway.
No, you'll be right. You'll be right.
You'll be great.
We'll start with a nice easy one for you, Andrea. Have you ever been to an AFL Grand Final?
No, never.
Who do you support?
Port Adelaide.
Oh, gosh. So have you tried to win the tickets?
Well, look, I'm sort of a half-hearted supporter, so
Okay.
to be fair, I might watch it go on the telly if I'm not doing anything. I'm really cemented on, but I do like it when they win.
Yeah,
so I'm a
all
bit excited about where they are, yeah.
Yeah, you'll be watching tonight, I'm sure. Now, 114 South Australian suburbs now have a median house price of more than $1 million. Do you think your house is worth more than $1 million, Andrea?
Yeah. Well, it's not just a house. I'm on land. We've got a few acres.
Oh,
nice.
beautiful. That sounds
I think the land is
magnificent.
probably worth more. But only just.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, and that's not.
Well, it sounds like a lot, but if you consider 114 suburbs all have houses with the average of $1 million now, it's sort of just where we're at. Now, I want to ask you this, Andrew. When you're driving, do you put your mobile phone somewhere that you can't reach it or see it?
I'm talking to you while I'm driving right now, and I can't see my phone because my car sort of does the job of my phone.
Hands-free.
Absolutely, yeah.
Sensible.
So you won't be getting caught by the new cameras then, Andrew. You're going to be laughing.
No, I've been there, done that, and no. I've learned my lesson. It's very expensive.
Certainly is.
The price of Tim Tams has hit $6 a packet. Do you have a favourite sweet biscuit, Andrea?
Yeah, it'd be a Tim Tam.
Would you pay $6 for a packet?
Look, I would, but my hips would say no.
Well, as Shakira said, Andrea, your hips don't lie.
Andrea, you're in a car, so I think this is an interesting question for you. The Greens have called for the cost of bus and train tickets to be reduced to 50 cents. If public transport was free, would you start using it, do you think?
Well, no, I can't. because it doesn't help me. I have to use a car. There's no choice.
Exactly right.
Yeah, I
It's no
can't
use to
remember
you.
catching the O-Bahn to Williamstown.
No, that's
No.
right.
Indeed.
Well, Andrea, look at that. You had no trouble whatsoever. Answered
Great
every
work.
question. Magnificent work. Thank you. Let's go to Basil in Salisbury. Morning, Basil.
Good morning, guys.
Basil, did the supermoon this week affect your night's sleep?
No, because I couldn't see it.
Yep, that's the aim.
What about your behaviour, Basil? You didn't find yourself,
Sprouting
howling at the
hair?
moon? That's right.
A little bit nervous talking to you guys.
No need, Basil.
No need for nerves, mate.
Basil, Alexander Downer revealed this week that he and his sisters were not allowed to watch TV growing up, and he believed that was the best thing for him, and that other parents should do the same. Do you agree with Alexander Downer?
Yes, I do agree with it.
Did you have a TV as a child, Basil?
No, couldn't afford one.
Really? Can I ask, mate, are you a Vasily Basil?
No, Indian basil.
Indian Basil, not Greek Basil.
No, not Greek basil.
Basil, who do you think's going to win the footy tonight? Sydney or Port Adelaide?
Well, I hope Port Adelaide wins because it'll be great for South Australia and also for the interstate teams.
Are they your team too, Basil? Do you go for Port, mate?
No, I go for Melbourne.
Go for Melbourne, really?
Did you originally?
Yes.
Are you originally from Melbourne?
No, I'm not. Because Todd Viney went there, and I was a big fan of him.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, good one.
That makes sense. The ban on the sales of tomatoes in SA due to a virus has seen millions of tomatoes get dumped. Have you ever grown your own tomatoes, Basil?
Yes, I do.
Have you got them in already, mate, or are you doing seeds or
No,
seedlings?
they're already in. They're about halfway through.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
You've got a plan ahead for your tomatoes. How many plants have you got in?
6.
Yeah, that's good. Good amount. Good amount.
Well, good to have you on, Basil.
Yeah,
nice
thanks,
to talk
Basil.
to you.
Well done, mate.
Call in again. We'll definitely talk. Thank you. Let's go to Craigmore. Luke, good morning.
Good morning, lad.
Luke, there are Port fans on their way to Sydney on a 14.5-hour road trip at the moment. Have you ever driven to Sydney, and if so, when did you last do it?
I drive for a living, mate, and I do 14 hours every day.
What's the longest drive you've ever done?
Legally?
Don't get yourself into trouble, Luke, please.
I think, a while ago, a while back, when I first started driving, I'd done Melbourne, Brisbane, all in one hit.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
It's like 30 hours, isn't it?
Oh, a bit more.
Oh, crikey.
Yeah. That was when I was young. But yeah, I used to travel to Perth once a week, go to Perth and back every week.
Oh, so this is 14 hours to use nothing. That's just a quick...
nothing. Yeah.
That's a drive up to the corner. Luke, Prince Harry turned 40 last weekend, marked the occasion with a party in Los Angeles. Did you have a 40th birthday party?
I did, yeah. Yeah, I can't remember too much.
No, it sounds like a good party then.
Can you at least remember where the party was held, Luke?
Oh, geez, yeah.
Gee, Luke.
Yeah.
You may have done, sounds like you did permanent damage on this,
A night
on this
to
night.
remember.
All right, no, say no more. Say no more. Do you think do you think the cameras that are going to capture people on their mobile phones should be installed in all intersections?
No. Look, I'm all for them, but it's going to be like as I said before, I drive, and there's going to be times where I touch the phone to answer a call or whatever, and the camera gets you at that moment. Even though it's legal, there's a $600 fine, and you have to take it to court at your cost. So, I'm for the cameras. I hate people that I see it all the time driving.
Yeah, you
all
would.
the time.
Up in the cabin,
And,
you'd be looking down at every intersection. There'd be people everywhere doing it.
Oh, mate, the police commissioner, if he sat in my truck and wrote down number plates, I reckon we would double the revenue of the state budget in a day. It's
Wipe
crazy.
out that $40 million loan we had to get to build the new children's hospital.
We'd fix ramping.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Luke,
400 million, I mean.
The US Federal Reserve dropped interest rates by 50 basis points this week. If you were to guess, when do you think the RBA here in Australia is going to drop interest rates?
Well, they always do it before an election. Yeah, I reckon a month before, or 2 months before the government calls elections.
Okay.
That's when they'll start dropping.
Sceptical of RBA independence, Luke. Don't mind that. Kylie Minogue's coming to Adelaide in February. You got a favourite Kylie Minogue song?
Jeepers. Don't tell my mate this, but do the locomotion.
Taking it back to where it all started.
There you go.
Kylie on debut.
That is excellent work, Luke. Thank you. $100 worth of Sam Dash seafood we've got to give away, and the 2 Wallace passes.
I reckon let's give the seafood to Andrea, and the Wallace passes can go to Basil and Luke.
Fantastic. Good to have them. That was nice. Good to chat.
Excellent stuff.
I think three on debut for Feedback Friday.
Very much so.
Terrific. 11 to 9, let's check traffic and come back to wrap on this Friday morning, the prelim final morning of 5AA Breakfast. Score a new deal every day with Macca's Footy Finals deals only on the My Macca's app.
Yeah, thanks, Will. Apart from some wet roads out there at the moment, thanks to the passing showers, no major issues as we speak. Some roadworks, Causeway Road near Mary Street in Effleton, Foster's Road near Redwood Avenue in Greenacres, and Goodwood Road near Railway Terrace South in Goodwood. Cameras to slow down for Days Road, Croydon Park, Lily Street, Blair Athol, and Waverley Ridge Road, Crafers West. Combining comfort and cutting-edge technology, make the Mercedes-Benz GLA City Edition yours for $66,900 drive away. Visit Mercedes-Benz Adelaide and Unley, T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Coming up on 5AA Mornings, Rex Patrick, the former South Australian Nick Xenophon Senator, joining Jackie Lambie. Both will be in the studio this morning. Hank Jongan from Centrelink will be joining me, and Adelaide remembers when we had department stores like Charles Moore and People Stores and many others as well. I'm Matthew Pantelis. Those stories, a lot more coming up. Join me after the news.
I have a riddle for you. What do you call someone who enjoys a delicious meal of fish and chips, a beef schnitty burger, or a chicken wrap for just $15 with a stunning view of Port River at the Lighthouse Wharf Hotel during the week? Smart. Head into the Lighthouse Wharf Hotel any day of the week and grab a $15 lunch special. Also, if you're looking for a stellar function space, Lighthouse Wharf Hotel does that too. You just know it's a Barreau Hotel.
If you're ready for the legendary Hilux, your journey starts at the brand new Jarvis Toyota, Brighton Road, Somerton Park. Save across the entire Hilux range, unbreakable since 1968, including the first ever Hilux GR Sport, inspired with Dakar DNA. Hilux GR Sport is available now and boasting more power and torque. Jarvis Toyota, Brighton Road, Somerton Park, proudly celebrating 23 years of great deals. Visit their brand new showroom today.
Now, thank you, South Australia. This is great. The Hospital Research Foundation Home Lottery has sold out early again. You can be proud that you're having a life-changing impact right now on the health of all South Aussies.
Someone's about to win the $3.9 million Scott Salisbury Grand Prize, the Glenelg East Home, and $500,000. So if you didn't get your ticket this time around, don't miss out again. Simply become a member today, and that way that will guarantee your tickets.
Go to the website, homelottery.com.au. Life-changing prizes, life-changing impact.
Don't just send it, ace it.
If your current job is driving you bonkers, get outdoors and hit the road. ACET Transport Solutions is growing and they need more drivers to keep their promise of perfect service. So, if you want a career that'll take you places, get in touch with the team at ACET Transport Solutions. Visit acettransport.au.
Don't just send it, ace it.
Head to your Hyundai dealer for run-out offers across MY24 range. Petrol and diesel vehicles, T's and C's apply.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
If you love your food, make sure you're listening to Stacey Lee today just after 3 p.m. She'll be joined by Chris Jarmer from Jarmer's Kitchen for Foodie Friday. It is Footy Friday too, but it'll be Foodie Friday with Stacey, thanks to Smeg and Powers. Building or renovating, your first choice should be visiting the Smeg showroom at Debney Distributors. Taste the difference with Smeg and Powers.
It's time to Flashback
with Michael Smith.
Michael Smith from 7 News. You can catch his Flashback every Sunday night from 6 o'clock. Morning to you, Michael.
Good morning, Will and David. For this week's Flashback, we're venturing not too far
from where you guys are right now. In fact, just to the other side of Hindmarsh Square. If you look out of your studio window directly to the east, you'll see the Morgans building in the southeastern corner of Hindmarsh Square. 40 years ago, there was a famous hotel on that corner called the Aurora. It was a 3-story hotel complete with a turret and return verandas. And 40 years ago, a bit like the recent campaign we've seen to save the Cranker, there was a huge groundswell of support to try to save the Aurora from demolition. As a bit of history for you, it first opened back in 1859 as the Black Eagle. It was a hotel that was really popular with Adelaide's German community, the famous painter Hans Heissen amongst the regulars who used to drink at the Aurora. But back in the early 80s, that part of Hindmarsh Square was really down at heel, and the City Council was determined that Hindmarsh Square would be redeveloped. The difference with the Aurora compared to the Cranker is that it wasn't heritage listed. But that didn't deter a whole group of concerned citizens who thought it was important to retain the building for heritage and cultural reasons. So they staged a 35-day around-the-clock protest to stop the hotel being demolished. They also petitioned the City Council, the state government, took all sorts of legal options to try and stop the hotel coming down. It all failed, though. The bulldozers moved in December 1983. Here's a little bit of a report from Alan Kalea.
Demolition workers moved in shortly before 6 o'clock last night and protesters were simply disregarded. This morning, the veranda came down. Work continued throughout the morning and protesters took every opportunity to make their point about council policy. Dennis Dale, who's been with the campaign since October, says most protesters knew they wouldn't win the battle, but he says the fight isn't over.
We have plans to organise now to try and save the other historic buildings or buildings we think should be put on the register or buildings that will be under threat in the future.
So even though they lost, they saw it as a win because it was seen as sort of a quite a seminal moment in terms of waking people up to some of the heritage issues around Adelaide and valuing our historic buildings.
I can remember that really well, Michael, and it was such a beautiful building. And looking at that soulless building over the road now, you know, this is why, sure, we need to grow, we need to develop, and there's some things that, buildings that have fallen into such disrepair, you'd just happily see them pushed over. But it was actually a bit like and, you know, for all the crap that the CFMEU has subjected us to, people should remember one of the actually genuinely proud parts of the history of the old BLF was the work that the communist Jack Mundy did in Sydney with the green bands, where they said we are not actually going to build or work on any of these sites that are slated for demolition. So, you know, when you go to Sydney now, one of the first places you go to as a tourist is the Rocks. Almost all of that was going to get destroyed.
Yeah, right.
Until Jack Mundy came up with the green band concept and said we're not going to knock them down. Conversely, Sir Joe in Queensland, heritage buildings in Brisbane, like the Wonderland Ballroom, all these places, Joe knocked all of them down. He had these two Indian brothers. They had a big wrecking ball, and they were huge donors to the National Party. And they knocked down almost every historic building in Brisbane when Joe was Premier.
We can see the South Australian version of that story on Sunday nights at 7 News from 6 o'clock with Michael Smith when he flashes back in time. Thank you very much, Michael.
On you, Mike.
Let's have a look at the fuel situation. Again, paints a pretty good picture this morning. Members save on RAA Solar, RAA Innovation Proprietary Limited, SA Building Licence number 319335. The OTR Bridge Road Para Hills, you can get it for $1.57.9. The Ex-Convenience Goodwood Road Panorama, $1.59.5. The OTR McGill Road, Kensington, the OTR McGill Road at Kensington, $1.57.9. The cheapest diesel, the Caltex Port Road, Thebon, $1.65.5.
It's going to be a big Chris Jarman this afternoon. He's going to unfold the simple mysteries of spaghetti carbonara.
Oh, yum.
Making it the original way, which I think means he's going to use the pig's cheek, which in Italian is known as guanciale, and it is excellent.
That will be, maybe you can listen into this afternoon. You can make it tonight for when you watch the footy.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if any of the meat on the meat tray will help you out for what you make tonight, but someone is going to receive a whole whack of it thanks to the great people at Chanella's, my local butcher.
We love Chanella's, and from a crowded field, they're all great entries inspired by Tupperware going bankrupt. We love this completely left field entry from Ray about his greatest thing from the 60s was being present at Lake Eyre when the world land speed record was broken. So, Ray, you are the lucky winner of the meat tray from Chanella's.
That is all from us on this Friday morning. We will return on Monday with another clue in our AFL Grand Final ticket competition giveaway. It goes to week 2. Clue number 6 coming up on Monday morning. If you missed today's clue, make sure you tune into the 5AA Breakfast podcast. Enjoy the footy tonight, and we'll talk about all the fallout on Monday.